We Real Reels.
Welcome to We Real Reels, the monthly podcast where we review old movies to find out if they are as good as we remember or if they ride a pale horse. I'm your host, Panda Brandon, and with me is my half-brother, the Grizzly Zay.
Breaking hell with me.
And the beautiful Koala Sam.
Hello.
This podcast does contain spoilers, and we'll be discussing the movie at length. This is a mature content podcast, so be prepared for harsh language and awkward situations. All sound clips, music, and trailers are only used for review purposes and belong to their respective owners. This podcast is sponsored by The Collectors comic book store located in Lebanon, Tennessee. That's 205 South Maple Street, Lebanon, Tennessee. Follow them at The Collectors Toys on Instagram and Facebook.
Yay.
And also, guys, if you don't want to hear us talking much about bullcrap, our lives and all that crap like that, these episodes are time-stamped in the episode description, so you can skip on ahead to whichever your favorite segment is and just, give it a good listen. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, if you don't like none of it, then why you still
why you listening? Give us a 5-star review and just go about your life.
That's right. That's all you need to do.
Skip all the way through just so we can get to play.
Yeah. All right. So this month's hypothetical is, how would White Goodman and Peter LaFleur do in the Wild West with Wyatt Earp?
I guess as long as they ain't breaking no laws.
Would White join the Cowboys? Would Peter start a new gym? How would this work out?
I feel like White would be the first one to die. Because he would be trying to get all like peacocking in front of all the Cowboys, and they ain't gonna play with that.
I feel like White would not hesitate to kill a man. Okay.
Yeah. To get his point across. Oh yeah, he.
And nobody makes him bleed his own blood. Nobody.
Peter LaFleur, I think he would take to the life of like the cowboy town. But he would just go on about his business. Like he ain't gonna join nothing. He's gonna stay in his lane. He's just gonna live life.
I guess if he don't got no motivation, then I'm gonna say he'll try to join the sheriff's side and just do the right thing. I think he's got that good streak in him where he always wants to do the good thing. And
he'd be a sheriff with no gun.
Yeah, I can see that.
Andy Taylor.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to our first segment of what you been doing and what you gonna do.
Hey, watch it, pal. What have you been doing? What are you gonna do, huh?
All right, Grizz, what you got for us this month here?
So I'll say what I've been doing is, unfortunately, I had to leave my employment behind. Not by choice. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I'm the reason why it happened. But it kind of forces me to think about what I've been doing in my life and
what you gonna do.
Yeah, what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and go to school and get my CDL. I've been training for it. I got my booklet in like 3 days into it. Like this is like, man, it's so many pages and this thing just not enough time for me to do it where it's not boring, you know? I don't like to read like that, like old Koala here. But it's 362 pages or something like that where I have to go through. So I probably only went through like 80 pages, 60 to 80 pages. And the stuff that I seen, I went ahead and tried to go online and, take the test, bro. Mm-hmm. Half the stuff they were sending, I was just like, what? What? Load lock? Shift differential? What? What? Axle kingpin? What? Okay. So I'm going through that, so I'm going to just go ahead and keep on doing a little tests and go through the booklet, and we'll see. But I figured that if a couple of my friends can do it, and I got one that I used to be cool with. It's not you, Sammy, so don't trip. But this guy from our past is not the brightest light bulb in the package. And he got one. So it's like, if I can just give a little bit of effort, I can go ahead and get it done. So I'm going to do that.
See about how you learn. Because if you're not somebody who just reads the manual Figure out if you can get it on.
I know. I learned by experience. So if I take the test and I know the questions, I'm good.
Okay.
So that's why I need practice tests.
Do they have those online?
Yeah, I thought they did.
Uh-oh.
The one that I ran into said that it was our state's practice test. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I went in, I took the little practice test. I took the real test, and none of those questions was on there.
Of course.
Yeah. So this time happens. I got the one that claims to have this stuff. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm gearing up to go on this Disney trip. Mm-hmm. Amazingly, me and my wife have good spending habits. So we have the money to go where we can still pay all our bills for the next couple of months.
Awesome.
And not have to worry about, all this stuff. Yeah, I'm going to keep on doing this. Try to get in better health. I've been sleeping a lot better than I have been in the past. It seems like I'm getting way more rest now, but if I can just get up and put that to use, I'll be okay.
That's all right.
Just got to get a regimen in.
Mm-hmm. Really ain't got nothing to do all day. So.
Oh, yeah, she already using that. You ain't got no job, so you might as well get up.
I did hear one day when she was leaving for work. It was like the first day, too. And she was like, well, I got to go to work. Got to pay all these bills.
Yeah, until she seen that my last departure payment, she was like, where the fuck you get all this money from? Like, see, I actually save and keep my PTO. So
you were able to get all your PTO?
PTO, vacation, everything. I got a lot right now. Yeah, and they pay out all of it.
Dang, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I got lucky with that. So the only thing I gotta do now is just set it aside like a Panda was saying here, and just divide up what I need throughout the next couple of months. I got enough to pay for my school, got enough to pay my mortgage, car notes, everything. So we good.
All right. Thank you for that, Grizz, man. I'm going to go next, man. I went to AEW Blood and Guts. And let me tell you, bro, I went with one of the wrestling boys, Logan, one of our new friends, Brendan, and old Polar. Polar showed up, man. Me and him went there. And let me tell you, we almost forgot the other two were there. They were so quiet. But we ended up getting some drinks. We took some shots before we went in. Y'all know Polar. He's always got alcohol on him somewhere. And we just had the best time. I'm talking about, we was starting chants. We were throwing jokes. People was turning around like, you guys are funny as hell. And then that just amped us up even more. We're like, oh yeah, how about this joke? Yeah, but it was a great time. It was amazing. Yeah, just enjoying old wrestling, old professional wrestling there with MJF and Swerve Strickland, man. It was pretty cool.
I would have loved to attend, but last time this happened, I had a job.
Bro.
One, and number two, we at 11:30 they were still having matches.
Bro, they were still announcing matches, bro. We was done, man. We were just sitting there watching all of it, having fun, taking jokes and whatnot, but then it was like 11:30. It was like, I hope you're ready for some more wrestling. We was like, oh, not today.
Bro, we've been here 3 hours,
man. It was well worth the money, okay? Let me tell you. Mm-hmm. That's a big shout out to OG, man. Thank you for getting those tickets for us. Also, we had a little birthday party for our cub there, Grayson. He turned 4. Mm-hmm. And we had a pretty good party, man. It was pretty awesome. So we got him into jiu-jitsu.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. And it sparked my interest to get him in jiu-jitsu from some things that happened at the birthday party. You know, we got one special nephew, and he too rough. You know what I'm saying? Too rough. And Grayson always gets hurts around him. And it's only him. You know, it's only this one kid. And so when I expressed my concern to my own parents about it, because they were going to take both of them to Natural Shore, they say, hey, don't let him get hurt today. They just kind of was like, boys will be boys. This is what they do. Grayson's just not tough yet. Like, the boys will be boys. He plays with kids all the time in daycare and doesn't come home hurt. Can you explain that? That response was just like, what? Boys will be boys. This is your grandson. It's okay for him to get hurt? Get the F out of here. So my father had given me a birthday bonus for Grayson, and I asked him if I could use it towards jiu-jitsu, and I told him about the situation. He said, oh, heck yeah. Get him on there. Get him learning techniques and crap, man. So this is not just for my nephew, but for any other kids who want to, because he's going to be small. You know, he's going to be a little kid. He's going to be small, probably small.
Both very small, short.
So If anybody wants to, pick with him, mess with him, hey, he can take him down.
He gonna get that black belt soon. What if he come in here and he's the same size he is now, and he got Sam over there in the choke?
Man, I did picture that though. Him taking her down, mounting on top, and just drilling her with hammer fist.
Grief.
I told you
I didn't want broccoli, Mom.
What would you do, Koala?
I
come in, looks like a scene from Child's Play. He's like, "Rawr!" She kind of throw him across the room.
I will try to still be a parent, but also at the same time, he getting punted across the damn room.
Not only that, we went to Monster Truck, Hot Wheels Monster Truck Live.
Man. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I don't know. I guess I've never been to a Monster Truck show, and I didn't know what to expect. And this was kind of an indoor, smaller one. It wasn't the dirt ones, the big ramp jumps and all that stuff like that. It was just a smaller one, and it was kind of slow. It was the pacing of it was real slow.
It was definitely Monster Truck. One of them did their tricks, and then 2-3 minutes of them talking about it or about the next one. And then you got to gear up for the next one. And there's 7 of them in all. So one
took a while.
thing took 30-40 minutes.
Yeah, but it was still cool to experience it. I probably won't want to go again, but it was pretty cool. I'd want to go to a Monster Jam one as opposed to the Hot Wheels one. Because the Monster Jam is the monster trucks like
right.
Gravedigger, Bigfoot, El Toro Loco. Actually, Bigfoot was at this one, but, he's also at the other one. But anyways, we did have a situation where we were eating some dinner. I was playing the game, and something went wrong in the game. And Sam was like, well, something's wrong with that. And while Grayson's eating, he looks up and says, Mama, something wrong with your face. And I think I wrote this down as his first ever burn. He really roasted it alive right there.
How in the hell is a 4-year-old already from his damn daddy?
He lit it up. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that's the one where he tried to keep going, too. He was like, I want to roll.
Once he got them laughs, he was like, let me do some more. Hey, something wrong with your face. No, it only works once, kid.
He definitely doesn't pick that up yet.
Wrap this up. I only got one more. We were in the car on the way home one day, and good old Chris Stapleton comes on. That good old parachute song. I'll be your parachute. So how come Koala just started laughing like he says parachute? I thought he said pair of shoes. Oh my God. He's talking about somebody free falling and he'll be their pair of shoes. Who the hell need a pair of shoes you falling out of airplane?
I don't listen to the damn lyrics to get it as a whole. So I just hear what I be hearing.
That's the first one.
I gotcha. It was like that Huckle girl. It was like, what was that? What'd she say? Oh my God, it's messing with me now. I had it whenever I came in here. It was like the New York song, and she was like, she said a couple of words.
It was completely wrong.
It's complete, but if you listen to it, you'd be like, yeah, that is. That's what it sounds like.
Right.
I did have one mess up like that. It was the TLC song Chasing Waterfalls. I always thought it was Go Jason Waterfalls. I was like, who the hell is Jason Waterfalls? I don't know, but it's a good song. Let's listen to it. Anyways, next month, I am going to the Disney trip. I'm excited about that. I think that's just about it, man. Still earning and burning, clanging and banging, doing what I do.
Yeah, nice.
Koala, what you got?
Okay, so last month that Panda did do the Cubs' 4th birthday party. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who came out and celebrated. He really did enjoy his day. The Amazon Prime deal ended up happening last month, and I was able to get the portable treadmill that I've been saving up for my Vitality. That was on sale for half off. And then I was able to cash in my Vitality points. So I only had to pay 70 cents for this portable treadmill. So I'm super excited about that. I've been working out on that. Literally the next week after I got the treadmill, getting consistent into working out in the morning time, then doing the treadmill, I get sick.
Oh, I thought I said it broke.
Oh, hell no. I would return that shit so fast. No, I got super sick. Panda got sick. And he's just going to say he's got like super healing abilities. So it was only like a few days for him.
It's true.
But for me, I was literally down for 2 days. I had a fever. I had a migraine. I was just on the couch or in the bed. Like I was out for 2 days. So it took a good week after that to fully get back to feeling normal. So of course the consistency with the working out got kind of jacked up. But I plan on getting back to that. I ended up doing overtime. So that was tiring. But then of course we started doing jiu-jitsu. So it's just new things are adding into the schedule. So I got to figure out how to do the working out in the morning. But I've been doing good the last week. I did end up having a great review during work. I did get a raise. It was the 3% raise. So it's not what I was potentially hoping for, but it is somewhat of an increase. So that's always something thankful for. What I'll do next month is, of course, Disney. And then my 30th birthday is right after that. Then got to get back into the working out. And beyond that, nothing's really planned.
How about that?
Yeah, we ain't got no holidays and nothing soon, guys, except for Halloween, right?
Well, you got Labor Day in September, ain't it?
Man, nobody care about
Yeah,
that.
we'll do something Labor Day. That's when the pools close. They used to.
I think that's still the same.
Before we move on, I'd like to introduce my wee real fans to I'm Turning This Off. It is another podcast I've started that it's just conversations about nothing, like Seinfeld, man. It's a show about nothing, and it just turns out to be funny. I've got old Whiskey on there. He's an old cowboy. He wrangles cheeks and smokes meats. So check it out. And we got old goat farmer Spencer on there. So you get to hear some interesting stories from interesting individuals. And it's just guys just cutting it up. So
What the hell's your name on there?
I'm just Brandon.
Nah, man, you gotta have something.
No. Just Brandon. Just good old Panda Brandon. It's me.
I was about to say, I thought you had Panda on there.
No, you ain't paying. There gotta be something else.
No, check it out and you'll find out. It's called I'm Turning This Off. All right, guys, let's move on to our next segment of Grizzly's Anime in Arms.
It's over 9,000.
All right, guys. So I'm pretty much be quick on this one. This one is a nice revolver. Since we're doing our movie we have here, I was trying to throw out some ideas on some good revolvers that we've seen throughout the years. And if you are a proponent of Battlefield, you know, the EA sports game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this one is in there. It is the MR 412 Rex. Revolver. It's a double action revolver, which, of course, if you guys been following my growth into learning about guns, double action is you pull the lever back and you fire. That's 2 different actions.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So it's double action. It fires a .357 Magnum cartridge. It's a compact 6-shot revolver designed for concealed carry, self-defense, and it has a couple of key features. Okay. So it has 38 special rounds. It can also fire the .357 Magnum, which is the biggest ammunition size that you can fire out of weapons, at least handguns. I think it's 45 and .357. Yeah, these things are hand cannons. It's bigger than the hand cannon you got. I think these are the ones that feed into that.
Oh.
Yeah, because that thing is huge. It's a 2-inch barrel or 51 millimeter. Overall length is 6.3 inches or 160 millimeters. The weight is 24 ounces, which is not too heavy. But the thing with the Rex is it never entered full production. So you can't just find this at a store. You have to get it specially made from Russia.
Ooh.
And they stopped making these around 1998.
So you got a time travel.
Yeah, and so it became so... I think they still make it, but it's real custom. You got to find the owner of the gun.
Mm-hmm.
I could, for the life of me, I could not track down his name, but I know it's Russian. And you can start there if you really want this gun.
Yeah, you go.
Yeah. But it never fully entered production, partly because something up with a double action lever. They didn't think that it was going to be too good because there's a cylinder that normally is supposed to come out and this one didn't. And it's like in Russia, I think they like the ones that come out and then spit out the weapon, spit out the bullets.
In Russia, the car drives you.
But yeah, since it looked so cool, it became real popular over the internet. And so it only entered its prototype stages when you look at pictures of it on the internet. But because of that, a bunch of games have picked it up. Like I said, all of the Battlefield, which, Battlefield 1, the Bad Company, which one with the cops and robbers me you barely used to play?
Oh man, Hardline.
It was in there. It was in 2042. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one was no. Was it 2042?
Probably.
Yeah, it's 2042. Modern Warfare 3, Ghost Recon, and this crazy game, which I know you guys have heard of, is Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades.
How about that? That's only the times when almost counts and all those.
What the hell is that game even about?
Don't you worry about it. But this game, if you can find this gun, I think it retails for... I forgot that one.
Ooh. $340,000.
Well, for it being custom made, I would assume it's super expensive.
Tell him what he wants.
But it is in Russia, so it could be cheaper because, I don't know, it's Russia.
That's right.
It is the MR-412 Rex.
What is
revolver.
Russia's currency called?
Rubles.
Is that for real?
I don't know.
Oh.
I think it is. I think it used to be.
Could it be MP412?
No, it's MR.
MR.
Yeah.
Okay, right here. Revolver.
Yeah, it's a revolver. But, yeah, I think it's rubles.
I believe it sounds like something in India or like Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia would be.
What was that?
I was becoming another person. Becoming another person. I don't know. I was like a transforming, goddammit. I almost started speaking Southeast Asian.
Yeah, it's hard to track down a lot of information about this. I just know that the games that it is in, these are fun games. We spent hours and hours grinding on this one.
And if you look it up too hard, you'll be on an FBI wanted list.
Ooh.
That's right, guys.
Yeah, but that's it for this one.
Well, thanks, Grizz. That was a very interesting hand cannon there.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to move on to Panda Tales.
Sit back and prepare yourself for Panda Tales.
The music gets you in the mood to listen to some stories.
Man, done it. And in Panda Tales, you already know, as we try to find a true story that's related to the movie that we're reviewing, and it was not hard this time because this movie is based off of a true story. The story is based off of is the gunfight at the OK Corral that happened in Tombstone, Arizona territory on October 26, 1881. This was a 30-second confrontation between lawmen and members of the cowboy gang that resulted in the deaths of Billy Clanton and Tom and Frank McLaury. The lawmen were Deputy U.S. Marshal and Tombstone Town Marshal Virgil Earp, Assistant Town Marshal Morgan Earp, Temporary Deputy Marshal Wyatt Earp, and Doc Holliday. The Cowboys were members of the Clanton-McLaury gang, including two sets of brothers. The feud began when the Earps and Holliday responded to threats from the Cowboys to kill the Earps. The trigger for the event was the Marshal's decision to enforce a city ordinance that prohibited carrying weapons into town. The gunfight took place in a narrow, vacant lot behind the OK Corral on a cold afternoon. With the lawmen approaching on the Fremont Street and the Cowboys waiting around the corner, nearly 30 shots were fired at close range, and within an hour, both Tom and Billy died from their wounds. Virgil, Morgan, and Doc were also wounded, but survived. While Wyatt and Ike were unscathed after the shooting, Ike Clanton accused the Earps of firing at unarmed men, but Judge Spicer exonerated the Earps and Holliday after a month of testimony. The feud continued through 1882, killing Morgan and several others until Wyatt and Virgil left Arizona. The gunfight is considered one of the most famous in the American Old West and an archetype of the era. How about that, guys? And I do have one more story that happened a little earlier than 1881. This is back in the slave days for sure, in 1859. Now, this was 2 years before the Civil War, like I said, in 1859, and a slave finds himself accompanying an unorthodox German bounty hunter named Dr. King Schultz on a mission to capture the vicious Brittle brothers. That's Big John, Roger, and Ellis Brittle. They were slavers that used to own the slave that was traveling with Dr. Schultz. Their mission successful, Schultz frees the slave, and together they hunt the South's most wanted criminals. Their travels take them to the infamous plantation of Shady Calvin Candy, where the slave's long-lost wife was still a slave. They end up in a shootout where Calvin Candy and Dr. King Schultz die, but the slave was able to get away with his wife as a free man. How about that, guys?
Bro, that was my favorite story growing up. Like looking at, oh man.
Oh yeah, it's in the history books. Check it out, guys. Check it out.
It's great.
Now let's get into our...
I'm missing something.
No, the pictures that they have of him, he's in a great suit. Great suit.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's get into our movie review. But before we do, we always like to enjoy our movie review with a nice adult beverage. This month's adult beverage is Starlight Distillery's Blackberry Whiskey. Indulge in the rich, sun-ripened flavors of Starlight Distillery's Blackberry Whiskey, crafted with a blend of premium bourbon and aged light whiskey. This small batch spirit is infused with the essence of fresh blackberries, creating a symphony of taste that dances on your palate. The tasting notes, well, let me tell you about them. The smell is bright blackberry, caramel, and vanilla beans greet you with a warm embrace. The palate, a sweet blackberry, toasted oak, and vanilla beans carry throughout, offering a smooth and delightful experience. And the finish is a sweet, warm, and fruity finish that lingers, leaving you craving for more. Perfect for crafting cocktails or sipping neat, Starlight Distillery's Blackberry Whiskey is your ticket to a taste of summer all year round. Elevate your spirits and savor the moment with every sip. Experience the tradition and craftsmanship of Starlight Distillery, where every bottle tells a story of heritage and passion.
Sounds delicious. This is the first time trying this one.
Well, I couldn't find any movies that Starlight Distillery has any alcohol in, so maybe freshly new, or nobody likes that shit. Or it's just not expensive enough. You know, I always want to put the expensive whiskeys in movies like Old Pappy.
Let's come up with a slogan for this. Look to the stars and enjoy your drink.
How about that?
Something like that.
Listen, I didn't read enough for the...
No, it was a whole bunch, bro. I thought you was done the second time.
Again. I'm going to do some commercials, though, for real. That was delightful.
Oh, yeah. The way it sounded genuine. Everything you said sounded genuine.
It was. But let's start this review.
In Tombstone, crime ruled the streets. Violence stalked the innocent. And every stranger was your enemy. Until Wyatt Earp and his brothers arrived. And now, all hell is about to break loose. Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Bill Paxton, Jason Priestley, Sam Elliott, Dana Delaney, Michael Bean, Powers Booth, Charlton Heston.
You gonna do something or just stand there and bleed?
Justice is coming to Tombstone.
I love a good narration trailer.
Yeah, I love those, dude.
In a world where a cowboy. Man, he did it all, dude. Kurt Russell, John Bean,
John. Val Kilmer.
We are reviewing Tombstone, and where you can watch it is Hulu or Disney Plus, or you have to buy it on physical or digital. Now, this is only in the month of August, so that's where we watched it.
Yeah.
This was directed by George P. Cosmatos, who also did Sin, Massacre in Rome, The Cassandra Crossing, Escape to Athena, Rambo First Blood Part 2,
Ooh.
Cobra, Leviathan, and Shadow Conspiracy. He's got a little deal there with old Stallone.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen any of those.
None of them? None of them, see?
I've seen a couple.
Oh, this movie is starring Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Michael Biehn, Powers Booth, Robert Burke, Dana Delaney, Sam Elliott, Stephen Long, Bill Paxton, Michael Rooker, and Joanna Pacula.
Pretty good crew.
Mm-hmm.
It came out in December 25th, 1993. Over other movies that came out in December of 93 were 6 Degrees of Separation, Geronimo, An American Legend, Sister Act 2, Back in Habit,
Nice.
Wayne's World 2,
Nice.
Schindler's List,
Nice.
Beethoven's Second,
Nice.
The Pelican Brief, Philadelphia,
Yeah.
Batman Mask of the Phantasm, Grumpy Old Men, What's Eating Liberty Grape, In the Name of the Father, Ghost in the Machine, and Shadowlands.
I don't think I've seen any of those.
Yeah, the last 4 I haven't heard of, but the other ones was pretty nice.
That's right.
Philadelphia was dope.
Hey, you there where Tom Hanks had AIDS?
Yeah.
That's right. He got AIDS. All up in there.
Never seen them.
This movie made $73.2 million on a $25 million budget.
Dang.
How does that make you feel?
That's nice.
They're making money.
Yeah, good money.
That's right. That's
I'm
right.
surprised they didn't have like a little special guest, Billy Bob Thornton, because he was in here.
How about that?
Yeah.
Who's he?
He's Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that was getting slapped.
Oh, the one that got bitch slapped. Yes, I'm counting those bitch slappers.
Well, let's get into this plot. Wyatt Earp and his brothers Morgan and Virgil have left their gunslinging ways behind them to settle down and start a business in the town of Tombstone, Arizona. While they aren't looking to find trouble, trouble soon finds them when they become targets of the ruthless cowboy gang. Now, together with Wyatt's best friend, Doc Holliday, the brothers pick up their guns once more to restore order to a lawless land.
Okay, before we even start this,
Jesus.
first of all, I do have plenty of hindsights in this one. But second of all, just to clarify, the first time I watched this, I listened to it while I was working, so I didn't pick up on the whole cowboy gang thing. I thought they were true cowboys, so when I watched it the second time, I need a clarification. These are not true nitty-gritty cowboys. They're just called the Cowboys, and they're a gang. The second one? Okay.
All right.
Clarification, good.
I mean, they might be cowboys, but they're just in a gang called the Cowboys Gang.
Okay. They didn't really act like with Westerns, I'm so used to like that basic cowboys, and they were not fitting into that role. So
what I would say
ooh.
was back in the 1880s, I would say you have to have some type of skill with horses and cattle and stuff back in the day. So they actually could have been.
Okay.
Well, we start off with this black and white little video showing of like a old Western times, and then a narrator comes on to tell us that in 1879 the Civil War is over and the resulting economic explosion spurs the Great Migration. West farmers, ranchers, prospectors, killers, and thieves seek their fortunes. Cattle drovers turned cow towns into armed camps with murder rates higher than those of the modern day, New York or Los Angeles. Out of this chaos comes legendary lawman Wyatt Earp, retiring his badge and gun to start a peaceful life with his family. Earp's friend John Doc Holliday, a southern gentleman turned gunman and gambler, also travels west, hoping the dry climate will relieve his tuberculosis. Silver is discovered in Arizona. Tombstone becomes queen of the boom towns, where the latest Paris fashions are sold from the backs of wagons. Attracted to this atmosphere of greed, over 1,000 exiles, Texas outlaws, band together to form the ruthless gang recognized by the red sashes they wear. They emerge as the earliest example of organized crime in America. They call themselves the Cowboys.
I can see that with Texas. Texas, going to Arizona and then call themselves Cowboys. Okay.
Everything's bigger than Texas. And then the color comes in, and we see a bunch of cowboys riding horses to the desert. A tombstone flashes across the screen. And then we see a nice and pretty little village. Or somewhere like a wedding setting up or something. And it's, it's hot Arizona, so, it's hot, deserty looking, dirt everywhere. Ain't no goddamn streets. But the cowboys arrive, and everybody dismounts.
I'll go ahead and say my hindsight is if I see a whole bunch of white men coming into town and they're loading weapons and guns, I'm dipping the hell out. I'm not staying and waiting.
Well, I know some of these people that they was targeting was in a wedding and it was coming out of a church. Mm-hmm. So they probably didn't have enough time. Plus, you're not supposed to have weapons in church, Back in the day, it was blasphemous to do that. So they had to have the weapons outside, and these cowboys knew that, and they took advantage of it.
Yep, and there's a nice mariachi band playing, and then a married couple comes out of the church. But when they do, they're greeted by the cowboys. And one cowboy in particular, he's got cards stitched to his boots. Not like real cards, but like the design of some playing cards on his boots. And he's the only one wearing a red shirt. All the other cowboys are locked and loaded. The cowboy in the red starts laughing, and he throws 2 red scarves to the ground. And he says, "Y'all killed 2 cowboys."
How does he know? Like, how is there a confirmation of who killed who?
I mean, it could be that the guy that died had people with him and they got away. And then they told his boss.
Yeah, most people don't die instantly in the West. They get shot by die of infection or something.
Yeah, tuberculosis, Miguel's pop, something like that,
Okay.
Well, they start to shoot everyone in the wedding party. Not one of the wedding party is able to kill a cowboy.
Nope.
They had guns on them, too, and they start shooting back, but they just can't kill a cowboy. But so they're all gunned down until only 2 remain, and the preacher. Turns out the wedding party were the Mexican police. A cowboy in red tells his fellow cowboy to tell the Mexican, in Spanish, to get on his knees, and he refuses. So they shoot him in the leg, and he drops to his knees. Got him there.
Yeah.
I think as the wife, because the wife was very clingy to the husband, very terrified. She's crying, et cetera, et cetera. If I was the wife, I would dip out.
You're going to leave your husband right there to die.
But, pause, but I would go and find a weapon and sneak behind like a building or something for some sort of protection and see if I can take out some, or if I can't take out anything.
G.I. Jane over here.
Because you would think that she would have some sort of knowledge, potentially. I didn't catch the whole Mexican police thing, so maybe she has some sort, but she was just so out of her mind, terrified that she was just sticking next to him.
I don't know. She probably would have ran away. I say people back in the day, they used to look at each other, fall in love, and get married all within the same fucking week.
Oh my God, that is true.
Well, the cowboy in red, he says that his name is Curly Bill. And he says he's the founder of the feast. And the next time that they come to town, you better step aside. And the preacher says that there's going to be revenge for his actions, for doing all this stuff.
Why did the pastor stay there? The whole entire time. He didn't get hit during the shootout. He stayed there. He was calling the cowboys out. He was saying blasphemy. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like you don't shoot a holy man. I think that's what's protecting him at first. They end up shooting the husband of the party, and then 2 other guys end up taking the wife off into the church. She's not about to have a good time.
Well, this was what I didn't understand. They dragged her away, but then, immediately after, you hear a gunshot.
Yeah, it was not for her. It was the cowboy in the background. He was double tapping the bodies. He does it a few times.
Okay, because I was like, oh, damn, she about to get raped. That's fucked up. But then I was like,
she probably was.
Yeah. So then I heard the gunshot. I was like, oh, well, why did they fucking drag her away if they just gonna shoot her? That didn't make sense. But okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that sucks.
So and the preacher says that they're going to be revenged for his actions, and he says it in Spanish. He says there'll be a rider on a pale horse, and the interpreter says that he's going on about some kind of sick horse coming or something. And one of the other cowboys says, he didn't say that. Your Spanish is as bad as your English. And then when the Mexican... Wait, hold on. I think I skipped a part or something.
Well, I can figure that part out. My other hindsight for this one is if I was the pastor and he didn't get shot, if I didn't get shot during the shootout, I'd be dipping the fuck out. I'm not going to say anything. Obviously, these people are going to do whatever they want to do. I'm not going to do my righteousness to these people.
Well, as they're carrying the wife off into the church, there's one cowboy who just looks on in disgust, like, he didn't really sign up for this. But another cowboy is going around, like I said earlier, and double tapping everybody. The Mexican police, as they're dying on the ground, I guess they were about to have a feast for the wedding party. Well, all the cowboys just decide to start eating. And that's when the preacher comes up, and he's telling them that they're a bunch of sons of bees. And when one of the cowboys I guess he's heard enough, bam, shoots him right in the head. And Curly starts to laugh. And he asks the cowboy who shot the preacher, we find out his name is Johnny Ringo. He said, what did he mean by the sick horse? And Johnny says he was quoting the Bible, Revelations. Behold, a pale horse. The man who sat on him was death, and hell followed with him.
So why do they need the other guy, the Hispanic guy that was doing very poor translation? If the other guy who had better translation, why is he not the one that's translating?
Well, you gotta think about these things, Samantha. He may not like to talk. He may not know that much Spanish as the other guy. He may not feel comfortable trying to be the translator, so that's why they got the dude to do it. And then we turn to a train arriving at a station. With his chiseled jaw, man steps off with his real thick, nice mustache.
That motherfucker was perfect,
man. It's Wyatt Earp, and he's played by Kurt Russell. He sees this man struggling with this horse, and he's the man struggling with the horse is about to whip him. When Wyatt grabs the whip from him.
Oh, no. The guy did whip the horse right in the face.
That's my hindsight right there. If I was something and I'm trying to get this big ass beast down from my ramp, you best believe I'm not whipping the damn thing. That horse can fuck you up.
Nah, that's perfect. I think I'll do the same thing if somebody's doing that to my dog or my animals, whip them across the face. I'll take that thing, whip him across the face. That hurt.
I'm exactly so sorry.
What I did.
This is hilarious to me. And this is not the first bitch slap that Wyatt Earp has given.
Yeah, he do like slapping motherfuckers, don't he?
So this is the first one. I am fucking counting the bitch slapping in this movie. I know this is not a comedy, but this is hilarious.
After Wyatt slaps that guy a couple times, he says, does that hurt? Get on the way. And the guy just walks off. Like, didn't he have a job? His own job to take care of that horse. Now he can't do it.
He's probably got like whip marks all across his face.
Just go sit down somewhere.
The craziest thing is motherfuckers just walking by just like, oh, this is normal. Okay. We'll be getting slapped in the face all the time.
Well, two gentlemen with marshal badges approach Wyatt. They introduce themselves and say that they're U.S. Marshals, and Wyatt says that he's retired. He's done his duty, and he'd like to get on with his life.
Would you like to hear my proposition, sir?
He's going to Tombstone. He's going to strike it rich.
But just let me talk to you about this.
Nah, he don't want to hear it. They even try to be like, some, what do you say, like a relaxed man is guilty conscious or some shit like that. Try to guilt him into
something about money too. He's just like, I already got a guilty conscience.
Yeah.
Like,
all rich men have guilty consciences or something like that.
Yeah, he's like, I already have a guilty conscience. Good day. And that's when two other gentlemen approach Wyatt. And we meet Virgil and Morgan.
Both fantastic mustaches, too.
Oh, my God. Almost as good as his, but
must
he got
be in the
Earp
family. Earp's got the good mustaches.
Yeah.
Then two women, Allie and Louisa, they approach as well. Those are Virgil and Morgan's women. And then we see Maddie approach, which is Wyatt's wife.
But you didn't really get clarification during this. They didn't really specifically say these are the wives. But she definitely, Maddie definitely, she introduced herself with one, and then she completely ignored everybody else. And I was like, ooh, that's a bitch move.
Well, they all greet each other, and they begin to move on. But before they do, they see the reflection of themselves in a window, and they stop and kind of pose for this picture that, just looks good, and they're just taking it in.
Everybody's smiling, but once again, Maddie just got a bitch face. Bitch resting face.
And Virgil says, thank you, Wyatt, for all you're doing. Sam Elliott. This is our second Sam Elliott movie, guys.
Yeah.
What was the first one?
Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
He was the stranger.
You're the stranger.
Yeah.
You say he's got that good voice.
I like what you're doing, dude.
Oh.
Do you have to cuss so much? So what the fuck? Then they start to move. One of the women asks Maddie if she needed a laundrum, and she gives her a bottle. And she says, "Be careful. It's full of hop, Maddie." And Maddie says, "Oh, I just have a headache."
Now she's coming off withdrawal, son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she said before walking up, that's why she ignored everybody, was because she was telling Wyatt that there wasn't any Landrum there.
And they do end up mentioning old Doc Holliday on this, and then Wyatt says, "I do miss Doc because he made him laugh." And then that's when we go to where Doc is. We get to see old Doc Holliday. He's playing cards at a table with another man, and a woman comes and sits on his lap, and Doc says, "Oh, wow, Kate, you're not wearing your bustle. How lewd."
Okay, stupid moment. That's a bra, right? Like a corset?
I think a corset more like that.
Okay.
Because it made it easier for her to hold a gun.
Ooh, okay.
And the men are growing impatient about the card game. And, Doc's winning. He must be winning all night because these guys seem pissed. And Doc ends up winning the game. And the other gentleman's very angry. He said he's tired of Doc talking shit. And Doc says, "Well, why, Bailey? Are we cross?"
I love his accent.
I do too.
Man, he's
he
so
did a good
calm
job.
and clever. Bailey says, because he sees Doc's gun, Doc shows him the guns. Don't act crazy because I got these 2 pistols on him. And Bailey says, "Them guns don't scare me. And without them, you ain't no man.
No. No, he said, I'm not scared of them guns. Without them, you just a skinny lunger."
And Doc says, "What an ugly thing to say."
But he's pretty stupid because a gun can fucking kill him. Like, the fuck?
Does that not mean we're friends?
That will, dude, if I'm having a fight with somebody, you're that calm, that'll piss me off even more.
Yeah. Well, did y'all also realize that there was a naked lady with naked babies behind them as a mural? Did y'all see that?
No.
She was plain as naked. Like, they were butt naked.
Obviously, this place is a little crazy if Kate isn't wearing her muzzle.
What an improper lady.
Well, Doc says, does this mean we're not friends? If I thought you weren't my friend, I don't think I could bear it. And Bailey reaches for his gun, but Doc is too fast and pulls his first. But then he places them both on the table and says, "Now we can be friends." And Bailey tries to attack him, but before you can do anything, Doc has already stabbed him in the stomach and puts him on the table.
He probably gonna die.
Maybe, but Doc didn't finish him off.
No.
The bartender tries to reach for a gun, but then that's when Doc's woman, old Kate, pulls a gun on his ass, and she collects all the money. So
they're both just going to get away with stabbing a motherfucker and stealing pretty much money, because when they were walking out, too, they stole other money on the other
This is,
table.
That part, I think, is illegal. But the first part, where the guy was going to threaten him with his gun, I think that's, back in the day, that was legal. If somebody threatened you.
Yeah, people settle fights with each other one-on-one all the time with guns back then.
I think in, is it Washington? I think Washington, you can still have duels.
Oh, shit. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think so.
Like now?
Yes, now. I want to say it's Washington.
Yeah, somebody looked that up. Zaby sounds crazy as shit.
Crazy. One of these states has dual laws where you can legally duel somebody to the death.
Doc says he calculates that's the end of this town, and him and Kate leave the saloon. And Doc takes all of the money from the place. And right when they get outside, Doc says, let's not bother with luggage. They were going to go back to the hotel, get their luggage, but he says, let's not bother, let's just go. And they both get on the horse and ride off.
They definitely got a lot of money in that bag if they're just going to completely leave everything there and just move on.
The next scene is of a sunset of Wyatt and his crew on their wagon trail and horses, headed for Tombstone. And as they enter the town, they pass a cemetery where there's one gravestone that says, "Here lies Lester Moore, 4 slugs from a 44. No less,
no more.
No more." Yeah, dang.
I don't know who put that there, but they did not like Les.
As they're riding through town, Virgil and Morgan are getting really excited about the possibility of money that they're going to make, the women that there are in town, and just the possibilities that they can have in this town. That's when the county sheriff comes out.
Wait, hold on. Pause on this. You can already tell the guys, this is where the part where I'm like, okay, I'm assuming these ladies are their wives, but the way that they're acting toward these females, they were like calling them out. I don't want to say they were catcalling, but they were like, ooh, look at them ladies. And I'm like, damn, your wives are literally right behind you.
Which one is the young brother? Morgan. So Morgan was the one that was acting like it. I think I don't know if he was married. I don't think he was. He wasn't. But
he brought a female.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't
definitely
know.
Virgil was, and definitely Wyatt was.
Which I didn't know Wyatt was either.
The county sheriff comes out as John Behan introduces himself to Wyatt. He asks Wyatt what his business is in town. He says, you don't carry a gun anymore? That's what Wyatt tells him. Yeah, we don't carry guns no more. And then John Behan says, well, I'm the man to see. I'm also the tax collector, captain of the fire brigade, and a chairman of many, many parts. He asks Wyatt if they have a place to stay. And Wyatt says no. Well, he tells Wyatt that they have 3 cottages that they can use, and you're not going to find a better deal within the town.
He's definitely, what's the word? Just standing around looking for some business.
Wyatt says, that sounds pretty good. Mm-hmm. So Behan says, I'll have my men show them to you later on. I guess a little later, after they get situated, Wyatt's walking through town and Morgan finds him and introduces him to Fred White, the town marshal. He tells him that he's already met the county sheriff, and Fred tells him he ain't no law. The only law around here is the cowboys. Nobody does nothing without them. There's 3 of them over there.
Which, if you actually counted, there's fucking 4 of them.
And he says, you can always spot a cowboy by the red sashes.
So,
the fact is, the cowboys are good for business, and there's a real motherlode here in Tombstone.
Sorry, what is the difference between a county marshal and a town sheriff? Is a marshal the same thing as a sheriff?
A marshal is federal. So any federal like crime, like murder, marshal has to take care of.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have to get the orders from judges and higher ups to hang people or put them in jail or transport them somewhere else.
So is technically the county marshal higher than the town sheriff, or they just
yes?
Okay.
Yes,
got it.
So as everything was going good, except the Oriental. It's a regular slaughterhouse. Not even the high rollers go there anymore. Fred said it's a hell of a waste. And Virgil says, Wyatt, and before he can even say anything else, Wyatt's already walking over to the place. As he walks in, it's a very nice establishment. Bar guy, he's over doing his thing.
His name is Milt.
Yeah, Milton Bradley.
Yeah.
They got the playing tables for gambling, and Wyatt walks up to the bartender and asks for a cigar. He says, it's nice in here. Are you the owner-operator? The guy says both. Wyatt says, excuse me for asking, but it's kind of dead in here. And the bartender says, old Milt, you see it back over there? Said this guy barged in. He's been scaring off the people. All of them, even the high rollers.
So if he
says, why don't you just kick him out?
Right. Like, if he is literally the owner-operator, why the hell is he just allowing him to come in here?
Belly.
Well, if a character asks that question, you should wait, and then you'll find out the answer.
But it literally didn't give a freaking answer.
So he says, why don't you just kick him out? And Milton says, that's easy for you to say.
Nah, he's just a fucking pushover. He can't do that.
Then you have your answer.
No.
He's yellow belly. Lily liver. What is it? Lily liver?
Okay, here's a hindsight that I didn't write down, but if it was a hindsight, if he's not capable of getting rid of the person, I would have just hired somebody to get rid of this person.
One of the cowboys.
Right.
Well,
somebody.
Wyatt sees him over there barking real loud, talking a bunch of crap. So Wyatt walks over there to him, and when the man notices him, he says, there's something on your mind? And Wyatt says, I just want to let you know you're sitting in my chair.
So confident.
The guy says, that's right. And Wyatt says, it's a fact. And the guy pretty much says, you're talking real tough. And Wyatt says, I don't need to talk tough to a tub like you. That's a fact. And the guy sarcastically says, oh, I'm real scared. And Wyatt says, damn right you're scared. And he starts to reach for his gun. And Wyatt says, go ahead. Skin it. Skin that smoke wagon. See what happens.
I'm gonna start using that shit then.
Skin that smoke wagon. And the guy says, I'm getting awful tired of your. And then Wyatt slaps him in the face.
Second bitch slap.
Twice.
Third bitch slap.
And then he tells him, throw down, boy. Third time.
Fourth bitch slap of the movie.
The man looks back with blood in his mouth and he says, Wyatt says, are you going to do something or just stand there and bleed? And then Wyatt says, no, I didn't think so.
He fucking takes his own gun.
Wyatt takes this guy's cigar out of his mouth, takes his gun, and he throws it to behind the bartender, says, it's a keepsake. Hang it up. Then he grabs the guy by the ear and tosses him out. He says, don't come back ever. And once he's gone, Wyatt turns to the bartender and says, so what do you say, Milt? 25% on the house? Sound about right?
He just got rid of that fool. Yeah. No problem.
Yep. And then
making a lot of money now.
Yeah, that next scene, it was crawling. No,
you missed
that first, though. He comes outside. All right, guys, we got some business.
Yeah, he runs into Virgil and Morgan, says, we're off and running. I just acquired us a quarter interest in the Oriental. When that man Wyatt was slapping around, he's coming back with a shotgun. And as he's talking, Wyatt is talking to Virgil. The guy takes aim and is still walking towards him, but you hear somebody yell, Johnny Taylor Madcap. And it's Doc Holliday. He says, where you going with that shotgun? Oh, I don't know. Just in town. And Doc says, Wyatt Earp.
He said, Wyatt. Yeah, he don't say Wyatt Earp. He says Wyatt first.
And he says, how are you?
Such a small world that they're in the same town.
Yeah, and Wyatt's like, how are you? And Doc says, Wyatt, I am rolling.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but I'm about to be rolling all the time now. They all seem to be good friends, Virgil, Morgan, Doc, and Wyatt, and they all stop talking and look at Johnny Taylor Madcap with a shotgun.
I know,
He's
so
still standing
awkward.
there.
He stood there, he looked at him and was like, Wyatt Earp?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
knows
scared.
his name.
But at this scene, did you guys notice the American flag that on the building was behind them? Had 50 stars.
Oh, no. Damn.
It had 50 stars. And in 1881, there were only 38 stars on the flag.
Oh. Did you pause it and count it?
A little messed up right there. And they talk about how...
I'll ignore my question.
They talk about how Doc is getting his money. Wyatt was like, didn't you say that gambling was a straight...
honest man's sport?
Yeah, honest man's sport. He says, no, I said poker is an honest man's trade. And they all look back at old Johnny again. And Doc says, I apologize. I forgot you were there. Yeah, you may go. And Wyatt says, leave that shotgun.
He just got bitch slapped, 3 times? And then he got both of his guns taken from him?
Man. Yeah, he said, leave that shotgun right there. And he tries to go hand it to Wyatt, and Wyatt's like, no, leave it on the ground. And then Johnny says, oh, thank you. And then he leaves. And Wyatt calls Sheriff Behan over and says, have you met Doc? And then I guess Doc didn't want to meet the damn sheriff. And he says, oh, piss on you, Wyatt. And the sheriff tries to shake hands with Doc Holliday, and he says, forgive me if I do not shake hands. Sheriff asks, how's the little town? Sweet and wise? Is that right?
They got some weird saying. But we haven't talked about how the fact that Doc is sweaty, looks sickly.
Yeah.
The motherfucking tuberculosis, though.
Behan was asking, how's the town look to you? And then Doc says, this is just another mining camp. And the sheriff assures him that it's not. This is something more. And then they get interrupted by the sound of gunshots, where a guy's getting thrown out of another shop or house or
I think there's another gambling house.
Yeah,
he pulls his gun up and he's shot in the street. The doc says, very cosmopolitan. And that's when Wyatt says, I know him. That's Creek Johnson.
Such a small world. Everybody in this small town.
Johnson looks at Wyatt, and they see Wyatt, and they recognize him, and they say, hey, what do you say, old friend?
He literally just fucking killed somebody. He's just walking over like,
that's how it was back in the day. And that's
like,
when Sheriff White came over. Like, let me get them guns.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's a fair fight.
He said I was cheating or something. I was like, damn, you kill a person just because they accuse you of cheating?
Don't even bat an eye about it, bro.
Doc introduces Jack Johnson and Jack Vermillion. He says, a pair of two sophisticated individuals. And that's when the marshal comes up and says, I need those guns. He's got to take them before the judge. Law and order every time. And then a wagon pulls up with the first black man we see in this movie.
First and only.
Wait, what? Where?
Yeah, he's unloading the luggage from this cart.
Oh, I didn't even catch it.
A nice, good-looking gentleman pops out.
I caught that.
A beautiful, dark-haired lady comes out. Morgan sees her and says, nice scenery. And Wyatt looks over and he gets his first look at her, too.
Oh, man. Was this just like a love at first sight? Because they both just they just both staring at each other.
She even had that little southern,
yep.
Who's that tall glass of water?
And then like Doc calls out the moment. You know, when motherfuckers call out a moment, he's like, well, an enchanted a moment. And the woman says, interesting scene talking to her gentleman friend. I wonder who that tall drink of water is. Adelment Nextour.
No, that's incorrect.
Adelment Nextour says he got the look of a predator.
They never said any of that because the white guy.
He says he has she was asking like, what is that guy? And he looks at Wyatt and he's like, oh, well, he's got the look of a predator and prey. And she says, I want one. And the gentleman says, happy hunting.
Which, I mean, obviously later on in the movie you find out that they're dating, but like
who?
The girl and the one
theater guy. Later that
but
night.
Like it's throwing me off that everybody.
The theater guy, they're not dating.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
He says happy hunting to this go get Wyatt if she wants him.
And Doc is telling Wyatt to go fuck her. So, and he's married. So obviously the whole relationship thing. No, because later on.
How you gonna judge?
How you get in there? Oh, let me ask you. I try to get in all the time when she's talking, and she don't shut up. But you ask questions, and she gets real quiet. I want to know how you did that.
You're gonna have that.
Because there's points where she just needs to stop. We get the point. Now let's stop. And I try to go, hey, wait, and she just keeps on going. But you just jump right in there. I'm just saying.
It's an art, bro. I gotta work my way around people that like to talk, man. I know exactly when to interject.
Well, you did it, man. You did it perfectly right there.
All right, let's go.
Later that night, we get to the bird cage, which I guess is like a theater of the town. And everybody's hooping and hollering, drinking, having a good time. And this is where the cowboys are hanging out because we see Curly Bill sitting in front row. And they're picking on one of the guys there. He's just like a little nerd dude. Just, I don't know, I guess he likes the abuse or something. But
so the one with the glasses?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And Curly Bill's like, leave him alone, guys. Come on. You can sit over here with me. And then we look up on the balcony area, and that's where Wyatt and his crew are. Mm-hmm. And they're drinking, and then they're preparing for the show, and his wife is there. And that's when Doc arrives with Kate. And the marshal comes over and introduces the mayor, Clem, and his wife.
No, but I'm going to say this because Sam said something earlier about this, about Wyatt's wife being a bitch, is that she was like, yeah, you know Doc and his wife. And so She shakes Doc's hand.
Completely
forgets the fucking second woman.
Yeah.
That's like, did women not have to talk to each other back in the day? What the fuck? Bitch, get away from me type
right. Because she didn't talk to the first of the brothers' wives, but then she didn't talk to, or she talked to one, but she didn't talk to the other. So I'm like, damn.
Because the one had that alcohol.
Right.
But the show begins.
Well, wait, you totally missed the fact that Wyatt ended up dissing the meeting with the mayor, right? Was it the mayor?
Yeah.
He was just like, oh, nice meeting you. Like, completely dissed him. And, like, he was like, nope.
He did not interested.
He just completely walked back away.
Oh, okay, I guess I'll be here.
Well, a juggler comes out, and he's about to give a good juggle show. But one of the cowboys takes aim and shoots a pin before he can even start.
Bro, this motherfucker is on target, son.
I'm glad he was, and so was the juggler.
I don't understand this. The guy in the glasses sitting next to Curly Bill was a fucking sheriff. He had a sheriff's badge on him, and he's just allowing, or deputy, what the fuck he was. Why is he allowing somebody to shoot?
Because the Cowboys is the law in this town.
Don't you understand? Do you think if he would have got up and like, give me your gun, don't do that? You think he would have made it out there
surrounded by cowboys?
Man.
That's true.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know.
Me either.
I don't know. Make a new fucking law and saying by the time you get into this door, put your guns out.
Something goes down. Just be quiet. Because you on your own. Okay? I'm not going to fight 50 guys because you got a problem with one of them. And then the gentleman who got out of the wagon earlier shows up. And they take another shot at one of the columns behind him. But he continues.
Well, you missed the part after the guy got shot. The first guy got shot. He's like, he runs off the stage and he's like, they're shooting at us. Okay, go on.
After the man, thank you. After the man finishes his performance, the cowboys start shooting in the air, and another performance starts. And while it's going on, the cowboys are laughing and being disruptive, and Wyatt takes notice of that. You know, he kind of looks down. And, but the actors come out to bow after the play is over with, and Wyatt asks, who's the devil? Who played the devil? And the girl who locked eyes with him earlier when she got out of that cart, she takes off the little devil mask and
she locks eyes with his ass again.
Oh my God.
In front of his wife.
I know.
Bro, if it was you guys, what would happen? Like,
man, I be bitch slapping Brian across the fucking face. You best, or Panda, excuse me. You best believe.
He was in a trance though, for real.
Yes.
Yeah. And then he says,
disrespectful.
I'll be damned. And then Doc says, you may be if you get lucky.
Right next to his damn wife. The fuck?
And he kind of looks weird back at his wife. But outside, Morgan and Wyatt are talking about the play. And Morgan is telling him that he read a book on spiritualism. And he says that a lot of people, when they die, they see a tunnel of light that leads to heaven. And Wyatt jokes with him, but Morgan says, I'm serious. And they all part ways for the night. And Wyatt tells his wife to go on without him because he has work to do.
She gonna be so childish.
She says you can stay a while, and Wyatt notices the bottle. They kind of have a spat about it, her drinking. And it seems she does a lot, and Wyatt really doesn't like it. You know, he don't like her doing all the drinking. But before she leaves, he says...
not drinking. That's opiates right there, son.
Before he leaves, he looks at her and says, you look beautiful tonight. And she kind of scoffs and she says, thank you.
Well, wait. Before even that, she's going to start acting childish. Which she wasn't acting childish at first, but she's just like, can you stay with me? And he was like, well, I gotta go to work. Well, then she starts pouting and she's like, okay. And then he compromises, like, okay, like I can stay for a little bit, but then she's gonna throw a fit. And then he of course brings up the laundrum, but then she gets so defensive and she's just like, I'm not addicted to it. It's my headaches. But then she's like, well, if you need to see a doctor, like go see a doctor. And then she's like, I don't need to see a doctor. And then she kind of was like, okay, bye. And then storms off. Like if you're having that many headaches, which I'm assuming at this point in time it's withdrawals, that's why she's having headaches.
It's withdrawals, yeah, it's crazy because she, like, you can tell she's addicted to it because she's sticking her hand in the bottle and trying to.
Yeah.
Let me get that crack.
So she's not really she's having withdrawals for the headaches. But even then, as the man, as Wyatt, fuck that. I'm going to get a doctor in here. Like, he's concerned about
he ran his course with this woman. He looking at somebody else, bro. He good.
I know, but still, you are still married to her. So still do, like, the proper things. But I still don't like the fact that she's being childish. But anyway, I would make her get a doctor.
Later on at the Oriental, and Wyatt's probably already had multiple times trying to fucking fix this lady, and she refuses.
But we don't see that. But we don't see that.
We have to assume
I can see it in his face. Okay?
Yeah.
He tired.
Because anytime a guy has a problem with somebody or a woman that he loves, he's not going to bring up the problem unless it's a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, later on at the Oriental, Wyatt and his boys are playing cards and gambling. And the guy lays a bunch of money down on the table. And I guess by the end of the night, Wyatt and his crew have a bunch of deeds to people's houses and land because they won all the bets. Doc asks Wyatt, he says, do you really see yourself as a married man? And Morgan says, people can change. And Wyatt says, yeah. He can see it.
So I'm assuming he has cheated or he has done something previously.
Yeah. And Doc says, what would you do if she walked in here? And he says, you know damn well who I mean. Oh, no.
Wyatt was like, who?
Yeah, and then Doc says, you know damn well who I mean. And Wyatt says, well, you probably ignore her. And he says, people can change. Talking about Doc. And Doc says, I'll remember that as the girl who we're talking about.
Literally walks in.
Yeah, she walks into the Oriental. And Wyatt says, oh, hell. And she locks eyes with him again.
Oh, man.
What the fuck? All these
does
people.
Like a little bow.
Yeah, all these people in here just immediately sees each other.
And he kind of turns away, and that's when the town sheriff comes up and starts talking to her, buys her some champagne. Doc looks at Wyatt as he stands, and he says, I see I stand corrected. You are an oak.
On oaks.
And Wyatt and his boys go back to their table when people start clapping again for the male performer of the show. And that's when Curly Bill walks in with some of the cowboy crew.
Oh, man.
They come to Wyatt's table. Curly Bill says, Wyatt Earp, I've heard of you. One of the other cowboys says, listen, law dogs, the law don't go around here. And Wyatt says, I'm retired currently. Bill says, oh, that's good. That same cowboy says, yeah, law dog, because the law don't go around here. And Wyatt says, I heard that the first time. Buy-in's $500. And Curly Bill tells Ike, the guy who kept saying that, to shut up. That's when Johnny, one of the cowboys, says, you must be
Ringo.
Johnny Ringo.
You must be Doc Holliday. And Doc says, that's a rumor. And Doc says he's in his prime, and Johnny says, well, you don't look it. Doc says,
while he's sweating.
God dang.
And he's pale.
And Doc says, you must be Ringo. Look, darling, Johnny Ringo, the deadliest pistol since Wild Bill. That's what they say. What do you think, darling? Should I hate him? And Kay says, you don't even know him. And Doc says, no, that's true. But I don't know. There's just something about him. Something around the eyes. I don't know. Reminds me. No, I'm sure of it. I hate him.
All in front of those people.
And Wyatt says, he's drunk. And Doc says something in Latin that translates to, in the wine, there is truth.
So was it Latin the whole entire time?
They was talking.
Because I thought they were talking Spanish first and then switched to Latin because it sounded different. Oh, okay, because it sounded different. Okay.
And that's when Johnny responds to him in Latin, which translates to do what you do. And they argue a little bit more, and then Johnny Ringo starts twirling his gun around.
Everybody's like clapping and hollering at this show. Like, this pissing contest is ridiculous.
Before we get to that, just so we're clear on the Latin part, Doc said, in the wine there is truth. So when what he was saying to Johnny Ringo, he was speaking the truth, but Wyatt Earp was trying to tell him, he's just drunk. He ain't speaking his mind. But Doc was saying in a whole nother language while he was drunk. So he was like, well enough to say in a whole nother language, I know what the fuck I said. Fuck you. That's pretty much what it's saying. And then Ringo's like, well, do what you do then. So let's fight.
No, he said, Johnny Ringo here is an educated man. Yeah, I'm sure I hate him now.
Which is impressive because you already know he speaks Spanish, and then you just found out he speaks Latin.
Oh, Maybe just a couple phrases. I don't know.
I think, yeah.
I feel like he's definitely more knowledgeable than everybody else, though.
Well, everybody's impressed by this whole twirling the gun trick. People's whistling and, all kind of stuff, and they clap when he finally puts his gun in his holster.
Let's call it as it is. It's a fucking pissing contest.
But when he's finished, Doc Holliday takes his cup with a little handle on it and starts twirling it around exactly like Johnny Ringo was doing his pistol. And he's getting a lot of laughs. And after Doc is done, Johnny Ringo and Curly Bill, they leave. But before Curly Bill does, he says, drinks are on him, and throws some money in the air. And the marshal says it's getting kind of spooky around here. And Wyatt asks about the cowboy crew and who they were, while the actress is asking about Wyatt. The sheriff tells him he's a peace officer. Tells her that he's a peace officer. And she says, he's very impressive. And the sheriff says, I believe he's married. And she laughs and still looks at him.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
That's wild to me. The female knows that he is married. Leave it be. Leave it be. If they gonna run their course and get divorced, then have your chance.
Yeah, okay.
Don't do that.
Okay. Yep.
Don't do that.
Yep.
Yeah, you have a different opinion, but don't do that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lady's opinion. Men, listen, women, if you see something you like, go grab it, all right?
No.
Go about a ball.
Let me talk to you.
No.
Yeah. But listen, though. If she knows that he's giving her the same type of looks that she's giving him, she knows he's interested.
But you gotta respect the fact that he's married.
She just wants to taste of the oak.
That's right. And he is an oak.
He's an oak.
The next day, we see Wyatt riding his horse in the woods when he comes across the actress.
This scene is so
What
random.
a small world. And she says her name is Josephine Marcus.
Like, I already know.
And she was beginning to think that they would never meet. And Wyatt tells her that her mare is in season. And she's like, what? And he's like, yeah, she's ready to go. They can tell by the scent.
She was like, I'm ready to go. And she grabbed it. Okay, it's a different movie.
No.
Yeah, Wyatt suggests that they split the horses up. But she says, I got a better idea. Let's run it out of them. So they take the horses and they just run. They run the horses out. They get them tired so that he don't want to hump her horse no more.
Romantic.
Yeah. And they end up going to this beautiful little countryside.
Well, hold on, pause. So before they get to the countryside, they were saying like they got to the top of a hill and he's like, well, it looks like it's in the road. And she's like, I don't know, something along like, no, not for me. And she runs the horse downhill. Is that safe for the horse to run downhill like that?
Apparently.
Because that looked
Safe to run downhill for a horse? You think horses can't go down hills? I heard cows can't go downstairs, but stairs are man-made. But a hill?
No, because it looked like it is a somewhat of a steep hill. But like, okay, walking downhill is one thing, but full fucking run is completely different. I don't know. In my head, I was like, these motherfuckers are going to like roll down the hill or something.
Is it safe for birds to fly when it's a little too windy?
Fucking smart ass.
Get on out of here.
Actually, it's probably not because they'll
fly the opposite way.
Well, they finally come to a spot with this nice little flowery patch, and he lays down a cover for her. And the horses, they're just face to face, I guess, painting this picture of love. And she starts asking him these weird ass random questions like, are you happy? What's your idea of heaven? Just having these weird conversations.
Just love questions. You know how it is.
She asks about his wife. And then she asks, what does he want out of life? And it seems like a good little connection point between these two. She does mention that she's with the sheriff and she likes him because he's nice and fun for now.
Wait, he's the sheriff?
Yeah, she's dating the sheriff. This is why I said she's not dating the actor earlier.
What?
So the actor that's got the voice, she's not dating him. When the dude with the mustache that came up and was like, yeah, I'm a tax collector, I do this. She was dating him.
Oh, no, I completely missed that.
Listen,
how
it helps to watch the movie before.
I watched this shit twice. How did I miss that? I thought she was dating the fucking actor the whole entire time because she's traveling everywhere. So how does she even meet the sheriff dude?
They're co-workers.
I'm going to give this away, but in the future, whenever something was about to happen to the brothers, when it was about to thunderstorm out there, she was reading a book.
Yeah.
Do you think that she was at home? No, she was at his house.
Oh.
I don't want to be bothered. And he was like, something's going to happen to the Wyatt brothers. She was like,
yeah, because I thought
they're together.
Oh. How the fuck did I miss that? 2 times I watched this shit?
Yeah.
Well, she says she doesn't have time to be a proper lady if she wants to live. And Wyatt says that she's different, but you're a lady. And later on that evening, Wyatt comes home and he's talking to his wife and he sees her take a swig of another bottle. She's clearly some kind of...
She's high.
She drugged up. Addicted to something.
She tried to hide it, but he obviously seen it. But then she was like wiping her eyes because she was like tearing up and stuff. And then she was laughing inappropriately. She high as hell.
He asked, is that the opium that Lou gave you? Or was that a new bottle? He told her to go easy on it. He asked how she is, and she says she's fine. She's kind of like crying, laughing, and she's got these tears coming down her face. And he says, I was thinking today, we've already made a pile of money from this place. What if we just left and just see the world, live on room service for the rest of our lives?
Yeah, she didn't know what the hell he's talking about.
And she's like, what are you talking about? And I guess he gets discouraged and he's like, nothing.
Just thinking out loud.
Yeah, I guess so.
This part confuses me because the whole entire dream part, like beforehand, his dream was to move here, not to be a sheriff, to be retired and to make just shit ton of money and just retire here. But then he talks to this other female that seems more interesting interesting and lively and stuff. And then now his dreams are kind of changing to what she's wanting to be.
Because it sounds like a good idea. Like she put something that was fun and like he didn't even think about into his head. And he's like, I'd rather do it with my wife. And then his wife just shuts him the fuck down. He's like, God damn, what a bitch. There's a reason you're in here.
Well, I mean, also at the same time, like he's not picking and choosing the right time. He knows he walked in on her being high as fuck, and then her just being like, what are you talking about? But I mean, like, he didn't communicate. Their communication is lacking massively.
But I mean, looking at her, it looks like she doesn't want to travel to this place or that place. Like she's trying to set down roots somewhere.
Well, it looks like she's just trying to stay high. That's
that too.
But here's another hindsight. If I was Wyatt, I would call the doctor because this is the second or third time.
You already said that hindsight.
I know, but this is the second or
you
third
call
time.
the doctor multiple times in this movie.
Well,
I did it once.
This is the third or fourth, well, second to fourth time that he's mentioned these drugs and he's yet to do it. Yeah, I would totally call.
Well, I guess Wyatt says, I guess I was just thinking out loud. Just forget about it. And they both lay there staring at the ceiling.
Both seem very unhappy.
Him really wanting to do something different and her just wanting to stay drunk or high or whatever. Just forget about it. And they both just lay there dying slowly inside. The next scene at the Oriental, we see the cowboys bickering and talking about why Kate is with Doc, and they called him a lunger because of his tuberculosis.
Well, was he at the piano at this point?
Yeah, I think so.
And he has one of the cowboys decides to go and talk to her, and this guy also played the bad guy in George of the Jungle. I don't know his name, but he was a bad guy in George of the Jungle, the movie with Brendan Fraser. He walks over to ask Doc to play a certain song, but Doc just keeps playing, and then pretty much definitely pisses the guy off. Mm-hmm. That's when we see Curly Bill getting up and out of his tent, and this is at nighttime, and his little shack thing, and walks out into the night street saying he feels great.
Well, first off,
he feels just capital.
Well, first of all, before we get to that scene, is Doc and Kate married, or are they just dating?
They're just together right now.
Okay.
She's a good woman.
And then after that, with the tent, it looked like there was a whole bunch of people getting high. Is this just like a high tent?
Yeah, this is opium, and normally back in the day, Asian people that was coming over to do work on the railroads had Chinamen, whatever, had in their possession opium, and they would give it to people for like a price.
So Curly Bill is high as hell.
He's high as fuck.
Looking at his hands. And he may be high off of the opium like you're talking about, or some kind of hallucinogenic. But then he whips out his pistols and just starts shooting up buildings, windows, people. He just unloads at people.
How many bullets are in this gun? Like 6?
Oh,
he didn't reload.
Yeah. He then unloads at the moon. And that's when the sheriff comes in to the Oriental and says, "Do you know what's going on in the streets?"
Is it the sheriff or the marshal?
Sheriff.
Let me finish.
Sorry.
The sheriff. Yeah, you are something today. The sheriff comes into the Oriental and says, "Do you know what's going on into the street?" And a guy speaks up, which was the mayor, and says, "I do believe you're the sheriff." And the sheriff says, No. This is a county business. This is a town matter. Marshal? Wyatt suggests that the marshal just leave it alone. But the marshal says, "No, I've got to do something." So he heads outside, addresses Curly Bill, and Marshall goes out there at gunpoint. He's pointing at Curly Bill and is like, "Hey, hand over them guns." And Curly Bill says, "Hi, Fred." "Why, sure, Dad. I'm only funning." And he turns the guns upside down. He's loose. He's not really touching them. And when he hands over the guns, one of them goes off and shoots the sheriff right in the heart. And I can't tell if this was actually a mistake because he looked like he was showing remorse.
It did seem like it.
He was like, "Fred, get up, Fred," after he shot the sheriff. So it might have been an accident.
Well, I wonder if it's just because he's so fucking high. But if I was the marshal, I would have gotten his crew, the cowboy gang. No, I would not be dead because I would not be going out there aiming my fucking gun. No, I would be like, yes, it needs to get fixed, but I'm not the one to do it. Yes, I'm the marshal, but obviously the cowboys think that they have their own law. I'm going to get one of their gang members to go handle him. Take his guns away, get him where he needs to be.
They don't want to do that because they're all high.
Well, then I'll step in and do something like that. But I would not automatically be the first one to do it.
Well, Wyatt shows up and he ends up knocking Curly Bill out. He says, you tell someone to get Fred off the streets. He don't need to be down here like this. And that's when some of the cowboys run out and they're telling Wyatt to let him go. Some of the town people come out. The town people are calling to get some rope. You know, they just killed a man. Hang him. And Wyatt says, no, he needs to stand trial. And that's when Ike says, turn him loose.
Well,
Wyatt says, I will not.
You seen that there was the scene right when the marshal was trying to get to Curly Bill, but you seen that there was like a flash of Josephine and the marshal. They were there on one of the porch steps watching them. So they were as witnesses. So I will say that there was at least two witnesses here, because that will be later on.
During the shooting or after?
No, during the shooting. They were there.
The sheriff?
No, the marshal.
No,
the marshal died.
The county marshal. The dude that's fucking Josephine. Sheriff. Okay. Well, then my notes have them crossed. So the sheriff and Josephine.
And then we'll see why later on that the sheriff didn't say anything. We'll get to that. And then Ike says, I swear to God, Law Dog, if you don't step aside, we'll tear you apart. And that's when Wyatt puts a gun to Ike's head and says, you die first. Your friends might get to me in a rush, but not before I make your head into a canoe. And one of the cowboys says, he's bluffing. And Ike says, no, he ain't. He's not bluffing.
He's such a pansy. Like, he talks like he's a dog that's all bark, no bite.
And Wyatt says, you're not as stupid as you look. Now tell him to get back. And go on now. And Ike's telling everybody, hey, get back, he'll kill me. And that's when Doc shows up and says, you music lover, you're next.
Dude, the thing that got me is Virgil, awesome. Virgil or the younger one, I forget his name again. Morgan fire a shot of in the air, and it scared the shit out of one of those back actors, man, because they jumped hard.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Well, before they come out, the guy who was pissing Doc off, he says, "You're so drunk you can't hear nothing. You're seeing double." And Doc says, well, I have two guns, one for each of you. And that's when Virgil comes out with a gun with Morgan and their shotguns. And he says, I'm telling everybody to go home. And the cowboys retreat. But Ike says, I'll see you soon. We'll meet again. And the sheriff turns to Josephine and says, see there? Never a dull moment.
So I will say, if I was Wyatt, I would have not stepped in. Like, I know he used to be a marshal, sheriff, whatever the fuck he was, but in this moment of time, he's no one of authority. I would have not stepped in.
The next morning, Wyatt Earp is telling the guys what the judge said, and he said, did you actually see the shooting? And Wyatt says no. By the time he got out there, the marshal was dead, and the judge says, well, you can't have a murder without a witness.
But
Bang.
Josephine was a witness.
Bang.
And the sheriff.
Bang.
Bang.
And that's it. So he got off murdering a guy just because there was no witnesses.
The hell?
Wyatt says it's none of his business. Anyway, Morgan says that they should have billet rooms. The billet rooms are where they're playing cards and stuff. He's like, we should have one of those in all of our houses.
Billiard room.
Billiard room. Yeah, that's what it is. Got a billet on there.
What the hell's a billet?
I don't know.
Billet club.
And Wyatt says, I think we should open up a place of our own. And we can live like kings. He asked Virgil what he thinks about it, and
Virgil's looking real troubled right now.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
But Morgan likes the idea. The mayor comes in and wants to speak to one of them, but they all say that they're busy. Virgil says, you're barking up the wrong tree.
Barking up the wrong tree there, fella.
The mayor says that you boys are making a lot of money in this town, but meanwhile, a lot of decent folks are suffering. And Virgil's sitting down like he's really pondering the situation.
Oh, yeah.
And then we see him leave, and there's gunshots. And when he goes outside, he runs out and saves this kid from cowboys that are chasing someone down in the middle of the I don't want to say road, but just pathway, I guess.
Through town.
Yeah, he looks back at the kid and the mother, and she's got this
huge scar on her left eye,
on her face. Tips his hat to him, and he walks on.
Oh, he doing some pondering, son.
Yeah, he thinking hard.
Mm-hmm.
But later on, the townspeople are making a hoot and a holler about this city of Tombstone and the rules that they're being posted. And Virgil turns around after nailing this poster thing to the wall with a badge on him. And he tells everyone to calm down. And listen, nobody's saying you can't own a gun. Nobody's even saying you can't carry a gun. All we're saying is you can't carry a gun in town. That's not so bad, is it? And that's when Wyatt comes riding up. And the sheriff approaches the mayor and says, we need to talk about this. And the mayor says, no, we do not need to talk about it. You can read. And can't you? And Wyatt says to Virgil, we're not supposed to be involved. And Virgil says, you got us involved. And he says, I walk around this town and look at these people in the eyes, and it's just like someone slapping me in the face. These people are afraid to walk down the street, and I'm trying to make money off them like some goddamn vulture. If you're going to have a future in this town, it's got to have some law and order. And Wyatt says, don't do this to me. And Virgil says, this has nothing to do with you, Wyatt. And Wyatt says, I'm your brother. And he says, he's telling Morgan, talk to him or hit him. And Morgan just lowers his head and shows his badge. So he joined in too with Virgil. And then the guy goes, oh, God. And Morgan's like you said, we're brothers. And Wyatt closes the door and says, listen, for the first time in our lives, we got a chance to stop wandering and finally be a family. This is trouble we don't need. You saw what happened to Fred White. And Morgan says, we know that.
Why aren't you going to get yourself killed?
Yeah, and there's something else. All those years, I worked with Kyle Towns. Wyatt's telling Morgan this. All those years he was a marshal, he worked at Kyle Town, and there was only ever one mix-up that he got in, one shooting. Mm-hmm. And he killed one man. He says, you don't want to know what that feels like, Morgan. Believe me, boy. You don't want to know. I didn't make a damn bit of difference, did I? But you're both making a big mistake. And he hands Virgil his gun and leaves.
So first of all, can anybody just come up and be like, I want to take this job? I want to take the sheriff.
The mayor approves it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you got to be sworn in by the mayor.
Okay.
And then as soon as you're sworn in, you can get how many people that you feel comfortable with.
Okay. And my other thing was, it doesn't, I understand, brothers want to got each other's backs. But if Virgil wants to be sheriff, then that's Virgil's thing. Why does Morgan feel like, we're brothers, I got his back,
Yeah, because if something happens to him, he's going to feel responsible for it.
Maybe, but still, if that was something he truly didn't want to do, he could have still had his brother's back, but not actually be sheriff.
If it's the Wild West, and Zay's like, man, something's in my body, I can't let this go on. I got to do something. I, for a damn show, ain't going to be like, all right, Zay, go ahead and do your shit. I'm going to be over here.
I'm going to California. You do whatever.
Either I'm going to be a Doc Holliday and just lay in the wait and wait for somebody to walk up on Zay and pop their ass, or I'm going to be standing right next to him and we both get popped.
I feel like Doc Holliday's position would be a little
he's
safer.
Not gonna be a lawman.
Yeah.
Mm. He's going to be polar right there. He'll probably be a doc because he's drunk enough.
Yeah.
I don't know. Calm and clever enough? I don't know.
But hold on, pause. There's another point. So you know how at the very beginning Wyatt was just like, I don't own a gun or bullets. I don't carry anything. But then this...
No, he said he don't carry. But now that he's going to do this, he has some. He just don't want to carry it everywhere.
But then he gave his stuff away to Virgil.
Because you have to whenever you come in town.
That's the law.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then we've seen Josephine singing by the piano while the boys play cards in the Oriental.
Oh, man, that Oriental is dead.
Well, Wyatt walks in and locks eyes with her. And some guy comes up and asks, what do you think of her? And Wyatt says, nice voice.
Why is everybody pushing?
That was the mayor. No, that was the sheriff. The sheriff came up and said something to him.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
because he knew that she likes Wyatt and Wyatt likes her.
And he was like, nice voice. And Morgan comes up to Wyatt and says that Doc won't quit. He's been at it for 36 hours straight.
Damn.
Straight.
How in the hell is he still awake?
Clinton and McGlory, the brothers, came in and he tries to get him to go to bed, but he won't let him go. He won't go. And nobody can make him move. So Wyatt goes over to Doc and he's just coughing, real sickly. And he says, Doc, you've been hitting it awful hard. And Doc says, nonsense. I'm not yet begun to defile myself.
Well, he's sweating real bad. He's super pale. But Kate just keeps giving him alcohol.
I said, she's either a great woman or she's the Antichrist.
Well, Kate says that Doc can go on and play all day and night and then some. That's my loving man.
If I was Kate, I would make sure, because he's obviously got
tuberculosis.
Thank you. I would not keep pushing him. Like, I get they got some sort of thing going on to make as much money. They have to have plenty of money at this point in time. I would make sure he's healthy enough to keep doing it.
Ain't there another word for tuberculosis?
Yeah, lungo.
No, other than longer.
Yeah, dead. TB.
Yeah.
But Wyatt ends up showing his hand, and he says, oops, and takes this huge pile of money off the table. And that's 12 hands in a row he's won.
Shit.
And somebody's like, you son of a bitch. Nobody's that lucky. And Doc says, Ike, whatever do you mean? Maybe poker's just not your game. He says, Ike, I know. Let's have a spelling contest. It's fucked up, man. And then Ike was like, well, how about I wring your stupid neck? And he tries to reach for him, but Virgil stops him. And he says, Ike says, I'm the one that got cheated. You all are a bunch of pimps. And Virgil says, nobody's doing nothing. Just go on home. You're drunk. Sleep it off.
Which, pause, do you think Doc is actually this good at gambling or poker, whatever the hell game it is? Or do you think he's truly cheating?
I think he's cheating, and he's using the girl to do it.
Well, Ike's is freaking out. Don't you put your hands on me. I'll cut your goddamn hand off. And he gets up, and then all up in Virgil's face, but Virgil doesn't back down.
You don't threaten me, boy.
So Ike says he ain't gonna forget this. Nothing. And he goes to the bar, pours himself another shot, and Doc's about to leave, and they're about to help him out, but Virgil go help Doc get some fresh air.
But he's still coughing.
Yeah, he's still coughing, and he ends up just coughing up, and passing out.
Falling out.
Yeah,
but I
coughing
feel
up blood
like
and everything. It's the first time you've seen him cough up blood, too.
But I feel like Virgil is definitely losing his temper with Ike. Like, he's supposed to be the sheriff. Like, he should be calm, cool, and collected. But I feel like he was losing his temper on Ike.
Yeah, well, they asked him what's wrong, and the bartender said he's a lunger. And then Ike says, well, I hope you die, as they're carrying him out. And he tells the bartender, hey, give me my guns. And then Ike says, nobody cheats me, and he slaps the bartender in the fucking face.
Bitch slip. Bitch slap number 5.
It's not Wyatt, though. It's not Wyatt.
No, it's not Wyatt, but it is another bitch slap.
And he's telling the bartender, when I see Virgil, when I see him on the streets, I'll send him to hell, and I'll shudder. And he finally turns around, and Virgil's right there, and Virgil pistol whips him and knocks him out.
Bro, this is the second pistol whip where it's a perfectly placed butt of a gun just knocks a motherfucker out.
Yeah, and they end up picking him up, and then they put him into a cell. Later on, Ike wakes up after Virgil opens up the cell door for 2 of his cowboy buddies to come inside and take him home. And one of the cowboys asks, when can he get his guns back? And Virgil says, when he sobers up. And the cowboy says, just wearing that badge don't make you right. When he walks out, he runs right into Wyatt. And he tells them to watch where you're walking, you stupid sumbitch. Or stupid bastard, I think he said. Yeah. Wyatt's like, easy, kid. And the guy says, I ain't no kid, and I ain't easy. You can take your shit and shove it up your ass. And he says, I'll fight you right now. And he shows his gun, and Wyatt just takes it and bops him on the head with it.
Okay, bitch slap number 5 for Wyatt.
And when it comes up, the cowboy gets up, and he's like, you're going to bleed. You got a fight coming today. And then they ride off.
So it kind of seems like these cowboys...
He just Donkey Konged his ass.
So it seems like these cowboys, they're a gang. But I feel like they're all just talking shit. Like, when it comes to confrontation, they back down real fucking fast.
Yeah, no, it's just confidence by numbers.
Bunch of fronting.
Yeah.
And then we see the doctor visiting old Doc Holliday, and he says that you've probably lost 60% of his lung tissue, maybe even more. No more smoking, no more drinking, no more gambling, and that nightlife, it needs to come to a stop. You need rest and complete rest. And Doc tells him to leave. Kate comes in and asks her, how you feeling, Doc? And he says, I feel fine. And Doc says that they need to redefine the nature of their relationship.
And that's when I think it's more of like a business relationship instead of a
Everything's not
personal.
so literal. Maybe Doc just don't want to define it as that because he's dying. He don't want to get attached to her, blah, blah, blah. Everything's not so literal.
But the fact that she's pushing a cigarette on him and some alcohol on him, I think she's more just using him to get more money instead of a relationship. Because, okay, if you truly love this man and a relationship with this man... No, shut up. If you were truly loving this person...
Thank you, Zay. That's too long. We get your point, and you're going too long.
This was a hindsight.
Yeah, but it's already interrupted and figured as false because Kate does love him. She enjoys being with him.
No, I don't think she does love him.
Really?
100%, because she pushed. If you love somebody, you don't push alcohol and fucking cigarettes on him, knowing that he shouldn't be.
He's gonna do it anyway. So why would she? Like it was back in the day, women didn't have to say so in what a man does in his life. So why would she try to stop him from doing what he already likes to do anyway? Because he's gonna gamble. He's gonna fucking...
Gambling's one thing,
he's
but
gonna gamble.
Smoking and
he's gonna smoke. He's gonna drink, and he's gonna, guess what? He's gonna shoot motherfuckers. That's what he do. That's what he do. This motherfucker Doc Holliday.
I think if she would have not pushed all that stuff on him further, he could have came back.
Nah, bro. She ain't got no say-so in his life on what he does.
Well, that point... for, a woman being in the place in 1881. But also, he's going to do what he's going to do, and he's already dying. Tuberculosis is a death sentence back then. There's no cure. There's no medicine. This is it. He's done.
Penicillin?
Beth Midler? What?
Penicillin, the antibiotic.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know. Penicillin cures a lot, but it's not going to help him here because they don't have it. He don't have it. He's going to die. Like, you get TB, it's the cowboy's death. Like, you're done. So let this man live it up until he dies.
Ask Arthur Morgan.
Yeah, poor guy. Rest his soul. But Kate says, I'm a good woman. Don't always take care of you. Nobody takes care of you like me. And Doc says, it's true. You are a good woman. And then she starts rubbing all down his, his nether regions. Yeah. And then he says, then again, you may be the Antichrist. And then she starts to go down on him. Next, we see the cowboys all riding in the town. Virgil.
Wait, pause. Did you see the red wagon with the females on with the whole sign that said equal pay for equal work regardless of sex? Did women even work back then?
Sex workers.
Yep. Secretaries probably stuff like I don't know.
I caught that the second time. So I was like, interesting.
Y'all see that video on Red Dead Redemption where the woman was talking about voting rights? And that dude came up and just started beating the shit out of her.
We see the cowboys all riding in the town, and Virgil and Morgan seem a little worried. Wyatt is just, he's just staying calm, and he says, use your heads. Just the same, though. I guess you better swear me in now, is what Wyatt says. So he's going to join his brothers. After getting sworn in, he goes to pick up this long trench coat. And his wife sees him, and he grabs his pistols that has his name engraved on them.
This is the first time y'all see them not fight or exchange words when they're in the same scene.
She's probably pissed the fuck off that he made such a big ass decision without even communicating with her.
That was a dope ass coat, though. I want one of those.
It's probably from his marshal days. But the mayor approaches them later on and says that the cowboys have been telling everybody in town that they're going to clean you out. Talk about the Wyatts. And that's when Doc comes shuffling up, looking very sickly.
Very.
And Morgan asks, what are they going to do? And Wyatt says as soon as the liquor wears off, they'll get the headaches and, lose interest.
Wyatt definitely does not want to confront them.
But Virgil wants to go down there and arrest them. But Wyatt says you have to have a reason. You do want to risk all this over a misdemeanor?
He says, yeah. They're breaking the law.
Because he already knows what's going to happen when they confront the cowboys.
And Wyatt turns to Doc and says, it's not your problem. You don't have to be here. And Doc says, that's a hell of a thing for you to say to me. And Wyatt says, all right, your call. Give Doc a shotgun. And then the Wyatt group, they walk down the street after seeing the cowboys had torched a building
They completely just disregard that building. They just kept walking by. They looked at it. They just kept on walking. Yeah.
Well, there's people running and like throwing buckets and shit. But, townsfolk are trying to put it out with buckets of water, like goddamn little rascals. I don't know. The boys are all wearing black. So they're looking badass.
Yeah, and they hot as hell out there in the Arizona heat.
But they are the goddamn law.
Yep, and then the sheriff came up and he's like, I already disarmed him, which you already know that's a fucking lie.
Well, a kid comes up too, with a little cap gun. He was like, bang, bang, bang. I was like, oh shit.
That was so stupid on the kid.
I would have shot that damn kid.
I know.
I was like, oh shit. He made Morgan real nervous. The sheriff comes up and says that you don't have to worry about a thing, like you said. Yeah, disarmed him, but we know how that goes. And so the Wyatt boys pick up their speed, and then they find the cowboys. And Virgil says, we're here to disarm you. Throw up your hands. And all the cowboys reach for their guns. And that's when the Wyatt said, this is not what I want.
And everybody just, man.
They stop.
It's tense.
Doc aims his shotgun while one of the cowboys takes off running. There's kind of this tense stare down. Until Doc winks at the guy who was messing with him on the piano. That gives him the courage to pull his gun because he's had enough. He's angry and stupid now to start this shoot off. And that's what does it. So the Wyatt boys drop a cowboy and they shoot another one in the leg. Doc scares a horse with his shotgun because one of the cowboys is hiding behind it. And whenever the horse takes off running from that first shot, the second shot goes right into that cowboy.
God, freaking ribs.
There's a lot of bullets being shot.
This is an intense shootout right now. Let me get through with it, and you can get it.
Okay.
Ike starts yelling, "Don't shoot! I ain't got no gun!" And he walks up to Wyatt Earp, and he says, Wyatt says, either get to fighting or get to dying. Get the fuck out of here. And the one cowboy that got shot with a shotgun gets back up and shoots Virgil in the leg, while the blue shirt cowboy, the bad guy from George of the Jungle, ends up shooting Morgan. And Ike ran inside where he found the sheriff and took his gun and started shooting out the window. So they unload into this house, all of them, while Sheriff and Josephine are inside, and Ike, and they don't hit nobody. Ike ends up running from the building and away from the scene. Doc walks up on the last cowboy, standing, and pulls the trigger. He's out of ammo.
At least on that gun.
And one of his pistols, he's holding two pistols and he's out of bullets. And the cowboy says, "Ha, well, I've got you now." And then Doc says, "Well, Daisy, if you do." And he tries to shoot Doc, but Doc's other pistol was loaded and he shoots him. And then Morgan gets a last shot off while he's on the ground and shoots him right in the head and kills him. The sheriff comes out and says, "All of you are under arrest." And Wyatt walks up to him and says, "I don't think I'll let you arrest us today, Behan."
Let me correct you on one of those phrases you said. It's because Doc is already ready to die. And so dude said, "I got you now." So he said, "You're a daisy if you do."
Oh, okay. Yeah, Daisy if you do. Well, Josephine comes out of the house and looks and smiles at Wyatt.
Which, how the fuck did she not get hit? Because she was in the same damn room as Ike. Which, I'm sorry, can we talk about Ike being a fucking pussy the whole entire time?
No, he's on the ground with his hands above his head. Like the tornado drills back in the day.
Don't kill me. I don't got a weapon. That's the second damn time that he's shown that he's all talk, but no fucking, like, confrontation, no bite, no nothing. How in the hell is he in this gang? Like, he ain't doing nothing.
He can act, okay?
Yeah.
He can act hard. He can act tough.
Parasite.
But also, Josephine, she was standing up.
She was standing up.
How in the hell is she hiding beside a mirror? You're getting shot through the fucking windows.
That mirror was tough.
Like, what the heck?
My thing is though, whenever Wyatt's wife walks up and she sees that and she looks at him looking at her, and then she's like,
"Fuck you, bye."
You staring at this bitch again. I'm leaving.
Yep.
Bro, I could have just saved this woman and she could be grateful. You don't fucking know what the hell the damn situation is.
She want to go get some more opium.
Man.
She kind of just walks off from the scene, and Wyatt says, "I guess we did our good deed for the day, Mayor." And the mayor shakes his head and walks away, which is kind of fucked up. But
he shakes his head, no, not yes. Like, he did it. No, he's like, "No, this is a shit show."
But,
well, it is kind of a shit show because that's a lot of dead bodies, you know? Like, they did go there and confront them, but I feel like if they didn't go and confront them, once again, they're just all fucking talk. Like, I don't think they would truly have gone on the main street and tried to confront the sheriffs. Like, they went and confronted Virgil, even though that they were told that that's what they were talking about. I don't think that they would have done that. So I feel like they could have just let it be and everybody stayed alive.
Yeah. I know all the cowboys, whenever they was pulling them in a hearse and they did their makeup.
They put a lot on their face.
They actually did makeup like that back in the day. Yeah. Hey, white people, I'm sorry. Or polars, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if they did y'all like that.
Yeah. They're in these glass-topped caskets, so you can see their faces as they're pulling them through town. There's fireworks going off in the sky, and the cowboys are walking with a banner that says "Murdered in the Streets of Tombstone." And as they're watching the cowboys bury their own, Morgan tells Wyatt, they say, "Hey, you're right. It's nothing like I thought it'd be." He didn't really want to experience that, killing a man. And Wyatt says, "I know." But the next day, the Wyatt boys are walking through town and they see, or Billy or something.
Billy, it's that Billy dude with the red shirt.
The dude
Curly Bill?
No, it wasn't Curly Bill. It was the dude that does a pushover.
Pike.
No, it's the other guy who was
Sheriff.
The deputy. Glasses.
Yeah.
Specs.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's Specs.
I don't know his name.
He's kind of offended at them. He was like, well, those guys were my friends. And they're like, they all they do is pick on him and make fun of him.
Yeah.
So why do you want to talk to him? This fucking loser. And we see Johnny Ringo shows up. And Virgil says, what do you want? And he says, I want your blood and I want your souls right now. And Johnny Ringo says, it starts with you, Wyatt.
Which, why is he picking out Wyatt specifically? Because Virgil was the one.
Badass.
Well, Virgil was the one that chose to be sheriff first, and then Morgan followed in Virgil's steps. Wyatt, at this point in time, is still. He is a sheriff, but he still was the last one in. So why is he picking out Wyatt?
I don't know why he's fucking around, because he's still walking around town with a gun on his hip, and they could have just took it from him.
Yep.
You're too drunk to have a fucking gun. Give me that shit.
That's technically a misdemeanor.
Well, Wyatt says, I'm not going to fight you, Ringo. There's no money in it. Sober up. And Ringo yells out, has anybody want to fight? And then we hear a, yeah. Doc steps up. And he says, I'll be your Huckleberry. And Ringo says, all right, I'll put you out of your misery. And Doc says, say when. And that's when Curly Bill comes up and grabs Ringo and says, don't mind him. He's just drunk.
Who is the leader of this Cowboys? Is it Curly Bill?
Curly Bill.
Or Johnny Ringo?
Curly Bill. Johnny Ringo is second in command.
Okay.
And that's when we hear Johnny ringing out, I want him spitting up blood. But Curly Bill says, now ain't the time. So Doc was ready to go, man. We know Doc's got a quick hand. But Johnny Ringo is one of the fastest in the West, is what I heard.
But he seemed drunk as hell. So
Doc
maybe
is
that why Curly Bill stepped in? Because he knew that Doc could have had an upper hand because he was sober.
Oh, yeah.
No, Doc's good. Doc's better than Ringo. Doc's better than anybody. And everybody underestimates him because he's sick.
Right.
The next night is a storm.
Which that lightning
Bro, this is the most lightning I've ever seen in any movie ever.
Now, we ain't ever been to Arizona in the dry desert heat. That dry lightning, big dog.
I have. I spent 2 nights there.
Well, you ain't ever been there during a storm.
In
dry lightning.
In storm season.
No, I don't believe it. A storm is coming to town. As we see the sheriff walk into the house trying to talk to Josephine, he's trying to speak with her, but she doesn't, she don't want any of it. She tired of his little weak ass. And he says, I see what's happening between you and Wyatt. I'm not a fool.
I just don't know how the hell that they're together. Like, I don't know
how the hell you missed it.
You missed a whole scene.
Like, I didn't miss this scene, but I thought she was in her own house with the actor dude, and he just coming in telling her because, she's a famous person. I did not get the vibe that they were dating or, no, I'm good. How in the hell did they even start dating in the first place?
He picked her up in the bar. He bought her champagne. He also says that after tonight, there'll be one man in charge of Tombstone. And that's when we see a guy sneaking around a building. So that gives you an indication that, after tonight, there's going to be one man in charge of Tombstone. He's saying himself. So he's partnering with the cowboys. He's a traitor. He's a piece of crap.
Okay.
So we see a guy sneaking around a building, and then we see the Wyatt boys.
Can we talk about the damn dog that's sitting up the chair eating noodles? Being hand-fed some fucking noodles.
Oh, bro, this damn dog got it made, man.
They're at the Oriental, and then Virgil says, I'm going to go to sleep. So he leaves, and Morgan and Wyatt and the bartender are still there.
Which, did you see that Morgan didn't have the wrap on his arm? He got shot in the arm, and he was having the wrap the whole entire time.
This is how I see movies is, since this was a true, event, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he got shot, this is probably weeks or months in advance.
Okay.
So this is probably taking place a couple of weeks after. So
Gotcha.
you don't need his thing.
Even though Virgil is limping and needing a cane still.
He's limping, but it could have been 3 or 4 weeks whenever he got the bullet out and it healed.
Okay. Even though he still needed a cane.
Yeah.
While the guys, that creepy dude's still watching, while Virgo's leaving into the storm, and lightning is going on, and he hears a horse neigh.
Which, hindsight for me, if I was Virgil, I would not be walking anywhere by myself.
But you're the sheriff and do what you want to.
Yeah.
No.
Also, he's been walking home every day for probably months. Weeks.
It don't matter. You know damn well the cowboys are out to get you at this point.
When a horse neighs at night, I know what's going on. But then, while Virgil's leaving, he hears that horse neigh, but then he puts his hand on top of his hat as if he's trying to look for something after he hears that horse neigh. But
it's in the dark.
Nighttime. What are you? Is something hurting your eyes? Get the fuck out of here. What are you doing? But I just noticed that. That was kind of weird. We also see all the women in one house drinking tea, and then they see a shadow of a man outside the window. They're like, oh, it's just Virgil. But it ends up being Josephine. And she's coming in trying to warn them about what's going to happen. But
she first comes in and is like, oh, I know this is not okay. But then she says her reasons.
Yeah, and while she's trying to, there's another shadow of a man. They're like, oh, that must be Virgil. But it's a damn cowboy who comes in. He just takes one shot and leaves. He misses everybody in the building, hits the wall. All the women are okay, and they're kind of recovering from this thing.
Well, I don't get the scene.
They just look at each other like, what the fuck just happened?
And they just stay sitting there. They literally just got shot at.
But this is an attest to how tough women were back then. They weren't screaming. They weren't shaking. They weren't like,
oh, my nerves, my anxiety.
Yeah, they were like, this shit just happens.
I need my Xanax, please. Can you hold me? Can you hold my hair, please?
They were ready and oh, okay.
But I feel like they could have done something else. Not something else, but they were just acting like they just literally got shot out and they just sat down and is like, okay, let's have a conversation. Somebody just shot at you. Go, not hide, but go find a safe place and go get your husband.
They
it's way too long.
Already went through the danger. What they're going to do now is talk about what they need to do to continue without getting shot.
Yeah. All they did was scream once. Yeah. And that was it.
All right, now, what are you going to do, ladies? All right, we're going to get the fuck out of here.
Back at the Oriental, Morgan says a thunder sure is crashing. And that's when Virgil comes back in. And Wyatt's like, what'd you forget, Virgil? And we see that Virgil's actually bleeding. And he collapses to the floor. And the guys get him on the couch and the house and the house. They end up taking him back to the house with the women, and they're all gathered around together trying to help Verge out. And that's when Morgan wants to find out who did it and go fight him. So he just storms the hell out of the building.
But once again, he's by himself.
Stupid. And the doctor says, I'm sorry, but he's going to lose his arm. And then Verge says, don't worry. I still got my good arm.
No, this is the part where I'll probably be the asshole. Is I always sit there and be like, "See, I told you you shouldn't have did this shit." And he's like, "Not now, Wyatt." Not now.
Yeah, Wyatt's like, "What do you want me to do?" And he's just like, "I want you to leave me alone." And so he grabs his hat and his jacket and he runs outside after Morgan to go get him.
Yeah. Before that, the wife was screaming at his ass,
completely ignoring his wife.
Bitch, shut up.
That's when 3 cowboys come running up. they say, I heard about what they did to your women, and I want to let you know that it wasn't me. And me and my brothers won't have nothing to do with it.
Well, is Creek and the other dude, whatever his name is, are they considered cowboys? Because they never had sashes beforehand.
No, they had sashes before.
They did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wyatt says, what happened to...
like Blood Brothers Forever or something like that?
Yeah, what happened to Blood Brothers? And McCaster, he says, not anymore. Not after tonight. And they tell Wyatt if he needs them, they'll be there.
I would have automatically taken up on his offer and be like, okay, I need you to go ahead and protect the women and Virgil.
That was nice. Short and sweet. Love it. And they take their scarves and they throw it to the ground.
But it was just one scarf that was thrown to the ground. But that's why I was like, is Creek and the other two were cowboys.
The other two guys wasn't cowboys. Those was the guys that shot the guys out of the thing. No,
that's what I was asking. You said yes, they're cowboys.
Oh, no.
But was that one scarf not long enough for all three of them?
No, the one guy was the cowboy.
The first one, and then Creek and Johnson was the second two that killed that one guy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Signifying this, throwing their scarf on the ground is signifying that they quit being outlaws. The cowboys are done. We then see Morgan at the Oriental just shooting pool, and then a gunshot comes through right in his back through the window.
I don't get this scene. He runs out being so upset about Virgil. It seems like he was going to run and get retribution from the cowboys, but then he just runs and fucking plays pool by himself.
And he tries to get his gun out and try to shoot back, but I guess too much pain, and he drops to the floor. Then we see the doctor and Wyatt trying to hold Morgan down as the doctor pulls the bullet out. And he seems to have lost a lot of blood, and he won't stay still. And the women are all standing in the doorway while Wyatt is telling them to get the damn dog. He tells them several times, and nobody listens.
Nobody's moving. Nobody's doing shit. Shut the fuck up, dog. Get out. Something.
They ain't concerned about the dog.
The doctor tells him he couldn't get it out because of how it's lodged in there. And Morgan says that you were right, Wyatt. They got me. They got me good. Don't let them get you, brother. You're the one. And Wyatt says, don't worry about that now, Morgan. And Morgan says, you remember what I said about seeing a light when you're about to die? Well, that ain't true. I can't see a damn thing. And he takes one last breath and dies. And Wyatt breaks down.
Oh, yeah.
After Morgan dies, he's got his blood all over him, and he seems like he's in shock. He just lost one of his brothers. He don't know what to do. His wife just kind of looks at him and walks out into the rain, asking God, why him?
This scene's kind of like,
Josephine runs out there too to try to assist, and he's yelling, he's like, get away from me. Can't you see? Get away from me.
Of course, Maddie, his wife, sees all of this again.
And she runs back. He looks back at his wife, and she also walks away from him as the storm continues on. The next day, there's kind of a somber tone. It's a different scene. Man.
He's packing a casket in the back of the
the Wyatt family. They're packing up. They're about to leave town.
Which, why does they have a whole bunch of money, the Wyatts in general? Why does Morgan Wyatt not have the glass casket like the cowboys? What was the purpose of having a wooden casket for Morgan?
I think what it is that if you're automatically putting them in the ground, you do the glass. Mm-hmm. But if you're not going to do it for a while, you do the wood so you can transport it somewhere.
Okay.
Like the next place you're going to go, bury them, and then there you go.
Okay.
Well, Josephine comes out and doesn't even look at Wyatt this time. Mm-hmm. He stares at her, and she walks across the street, and Doc says, and so she walked out of our lives forever. Doc stays in town as the Wyatt family leaves. They stop by the cowboys who are watching them leave, and Wyatt turns to him and says, I want you to know it's over. And Curly Bill says, well, bye.
This just seems pointless. Why is he stopping?
And that's when Johnny Ringo says, do you smell that, Bill? Smells like someone died.
It just seems pointless. Why?
They spit on Ike spits on the floor in disrespect, and Curly Bill says, Jesus, Johnny. And the Wyatt family continues on out of town. Curly Bill stands up once the Wyatts are gone and tells Ike to take Stillwell and finish it.
See,
and nods.
If I was Curly Bill, I would not choose Ike for any confrontation.
Then we see the family traveling again off to the train station. Stillwell looks at Virgil and sees him, and he says, "Hey, Maddie, where's Wyatt?" And that's when you hear Wyatt's voice says right behind you, "Boom!"
Just shot him.
Shoots Stillwell with a shotgun.
No one is concerned.
And they leave Ike alive. And so Wyatt goes over to Ike and he scratches his face with his boot spur.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn. And five other men show up, and Wyatt says, "You called down thunder, and now you've got it. You see that?" And he says, "The United States Marshal," as he flashes this badge. And he says, "Take a good look at Stillwell, because that's how you're going to end up. The Cowboys are finished. You hear me? If I see a red sash, I kill a man wearing it. So run, you cur, and tell them that I'm coming. And hell's coming with me." And then we see the marshals riding with the sun.
See, if I was Wyatt, I would just automatically killed Ike.
Excuse me.
And then there's this cool ass little montage of the marshals just taking out cowboys.
Fucking
man, they are
cowboys, dude.
driving horses into buildings, just shooting any man with a red sash or any man that pulls a gun at them. They are being killed.
Dude, they go into damn barber shops. They go into damn billiards. They go into everything.
Man, and they don't get off them horses. They go horses everywhere. Everybody's being killed, boy. You pull a gun, you dead, bro. You might as well just go and put it down. But
I got an interesting fact about Wyatt Earp that, like, that if he did this, if this is true, which I don't know if it is or not, but if this is true, this is damn lucky, bro. This is damn lucky.
But one man is even like about to smoke a pipe, and he's actually grabs the end of Wyatt's gun, and he's inhaling. And when he realizes that it's a gun, Wyatt blows his brains out, and they hang whatever cowboys they can. To send a message to the rest of them. They end up in a spot by the river, covered with trees, and the cowboys end up trying to ambush the Wyatts and the marshals. And it's Curly Bill leading them. And the shootout begins between the marshals and the cowboys. And the cowboys have surrounded the Wyatts and their well, not the Wyatts, but the marshals. So everyone's like, they're getting gunned down. Doc is there. Wyatt's there. A couple of the McCaster and his buddies, the Creek boys are there. And they're just surrounded by both sides getting shot by the cowboys. And they keep on depending on Wyatt. They're like, Wyatt, what are we going to do? Wyatt, what are we going to do? And Wyatt just says, screw it. He gets up. He says, no. And
I wish he would have came out with something better than just no.
Curly Bill says, "Would you look at that?" I don't know. He's like Caesar from Planet of the Apes. No, Caesar. He gets up and he says, no. And he walks off into the river, and Bill starts shooting at him. He shouts out, "Let me do it. Don't shoot him." So Bill misses 3 shots and runs out of bullets. But before he can lift his shotgun in his other hand, Wyatt just blasts him with his shotgun.
While saying no.
And when Wyatt drops his shotgun, he starts unloading with his accurate-ass shots from his pistol. Nobody can hit Wyatt, but Wyatt is drilling people. And the marshals start a comeback, just killing cowboy after cowboy, while Wyatt is still saying, no.
So this is the part that I don't understand, because even before the scene, they were killing anybody that had red sashes.
And anybody that would actually try to pull a gun on you, you're dead.
But my thing is that why not just go after the people who actually killed your brother and who actually did the damage? Like, because even the people who were in his team, they gave up. That one guy, McCaster, whatever his name is, he gave up his red sash. So obviously not every cowboy has the same viewpoint as Curly Bill. So he's just automatically killing everybody.
Take out the whole crew. Like, if you agree with this guy, your leader, if you're going to follow him, you're going to die just like him. He's sending a message to anybody who wants to be an outlaw. You will die if you decide to do this.
It's wild that they're in a gang and that they're the cowboys, but they all fucking suck at shooting.
Man, they are terrible at shooting. And Doc, as sick as he is still supporting his friend out there. Some of the cowboys are talking afterwards, and then have you ever, not cowboys, but some of the marshals.
His crew.
Yeah.
Marshal crew.
They're talking about, have you ever seen anything like that before? And one of the guys is like, no, I ain't even ever heard anything like that. And they ask, why is he doing that? And they're asking Doc. Wyatt's down there at the creek just looking.
Which is not that far away.
Yeah. And McCaster tells Doc, Ringo is going to be coming after him. And he's going to be trying to get revenge, just like Wyatt. And Doc says, make no mistake, it's not revenge he's after. It's a reckoning. And one of the marshals asks Doc, why is he doing this? He should be in bed. And Doc says, because Wyatt Earp is my friend. And that's the marshal says, you have others, don't you?
No. He said, I got plenty of friends.
Oh, yeah, I got plenty of friends. And
Doc's like, I don't.
I don't.
Man, that's the type of friend I want right there.
Right.
By God. Hey, come on, goddamn it. That's what they're going to tell me. I tell them every time. They're like, man, you got a lot of friends. I say, no, I don't. I only got one. God damn it. And that's when a carriage coming up, and we see Sheriff Meehan opens the door and sees that one of the actors, the male actor, had been shot.
So this scene made me think that they were the ones that were fucking dating. Because she did her whole spiel.
Made me feel like he wasn't dead. Let me get through it. Josephine, he asked if she's okay, and she says, yeah. She says, what do you care? It was your friends that did this, that killed my actor friend. Mm-hmm. And she says, she doesn't understand any of this. She just knows it's ugly, and you're ugly, you're all ugly, talking about the cowboys and the sheriff. And he was beautiful, the actor that had actor friend. He tried to bring something fine into this ugly world, and you shot him for it. Not that you care. But then Billy comes up and grabs the actor's hand.
That's not Billy.
Billy,
the sheriff deputy.
Yeah.
Billy comes up and grabs the actor's hand, and then he immediately walks off and is like, I'm done. I'm getting out of here. And the sheriff's like, what? Why are you doing that? It made me feel like the actors were putting on an act. Like he felt his hand was warm, and he's like, oh, this is a trick or something. Something's not right. And he left. That made me feel like he was still alive, but he was dead.
Yeah, I took it as that he died. I took it as he died.
My thing is that I didn't say it last time whenever they met, but whenever they was in the first saloon, dude was like, oh, come here, sit next to me. We could be good company. Mm-hmm. I was like, bro, is this dude gay? Are these two dudes gay? Well, because like, why would you reach out and fucking, oh my guy, I love you. Mm-hmm. Wait, no, this is not good. I gotta go. And he fucking leaves. No, bro. He was gay.
That is an interesting point. I thought he was still alive. I thought they were acting, so that's a possibility too. But the cowboys tell him to leave. And so the actors do, and we see the marshals up on top of a hill, and they see the cowboys with Ringo and meeting Behan leading them. So McCaster says he joined them. He was the sheriff, and he decided to join the cowboys because he was scared, probably. But McCaster says there's probably about 30 of them. And Wyatt says we need to find a place to hold up.
Well, they all got badges, too.
As he looks at Doc. And Doc's coughing up blood, and he ends up passing out on top of his horse. So they find a safe place for him. And they end up pulling him up in bed. And then the guy who runs the place that he's at says, I know you have to keep moving, so we'll take care of him.
So for the owner of the house, is he just so used to people just stopping by to feed their horse or water their horses and stuff?
Back in the day, they used to have checkpoints or like places you could take your horses to get watered or bathroom breaks or like a meal or something like that. Because he
seemed so used to it, but I was like, this isn't like a hotel or anything. This just is a random stranger's
It's just like a random ranch, just like in the middle, just like in between towns. That's like a checkpoint. Not a checkpoint, but like, hey, if your horse needs water, here you go. Yeah, rest stop. There you go.
And we see Josephine actually arrive at that place where Wyatt is. And Wyatt says, I'm sorry about your friend. And I'm sorry about, and before he even say it, she says, I forgave you when you said it. And
she don't seem upset anymore at all.
Because it's the guy she loves. Like,
yeah, it's a friend.
But the carriage driver says that they're all set. And Josephine says, I have to go, Wyatt. And he says, wait, and pauses to say anything else. And she smiles and gets on the carriage, and then she leaves. The next day, there's a horseman riding up with a body on a rope being drugged. He doesn't come too close to the house. He leaves the body and rides back, and Wyatt and 2 others run out. And it's McMasters.
Which one was McMasters? Who was that?
That was the one that was from the
Walking Dead.
In this movie, not Walking Dead. In this show, in this movie.
His damn name. He had the curly hair. He was one of the ones that told Wise, like, hey, if you need us, we're there.
Oh, the first dude that gave his stash away. Okay. But wait, how did they get him? He's been with this crew this whole entire time.
Like Zay said, like, time has passed. Doc's been resting for a while, and, this has been going on, and time has passed, so they've probably been out scouting or something, make sure the Cowboys weren't there. He's probably in the middle of town getting something. And then the Cowboy says that Ringo wanted to make sure he got your attention. He wants a straight-up fight. Just you and him. To settle it once and for all. At Silver Springs, 7 o'clock. And Wyatt yells out, tell him I'll be there. It's not finished. We then see Johnny Ringo pacing back and forth, and he says, I'm done with Wyatt. Take your Cowboys and finish it off. Creek, Johnson, and Texas Jack. You burned them. Like burn them. All I say is, hell, Johnny. He ain't ever gonna show. That's what they're telling Johnny. Like, he ain't gonna show. But Ringo says, oh, he'll show. Don't you worry, he'll show. And then we see Wyatt talking to Doc. He asks Doc, Doc's in the bed, and he says, what makes a man like Ringo tick? And Doc says that he's got a big empty hole inside of him. He can't kill enough, he can't steal enough to fill it. And Wyatt says, what does he need? And Doc says, revenge. And Wyatt says, for what? And Doc says, for
being born.
That's right.
I got the feeling that he was kind of talking about himself. Is that the same feeling that he's talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I believe so. Because it's like he sympathizes with Ringo.
Okay. I got that vibe.
That's why I said whenever they were in the Cosmo... No, not the Cosmo. Oriental. He was like, yeah, he reminds me of me.
Okay.
Because he has a chip on his shoulder. He feels like he needs to prove himself to everybody. Fucking Doc Holliday, like, he's good now. He has a friend that cares about him, that gives him hope. And it's like, okay, if you find somebody like that, then you're fine.
Well, Wyatt tells Doc, he says, I can't beat him, can I? And Doc says, no. And Wyatt gets ready to leave, but Doc says, wait, I'm going with you. And he coughs, and he can't get up. He can't even really move. And he says, I'm sorry, Wyatt. And Wyatt says, it's all right, Doc. And he asks Wyatt, he said, what's it like to wear one of those? Talking about the badge. And Wyatt takes the badge off and gives it to him.
Why don't you think he didn't already give him a badge from the beginning? Because
he don't want to be deputized.
Yeah, I don't think he does. But I guess Wyatt was giving this to him, being like, you want to know? Here you go. You can wear it, man. Like, this is the last of it, I think Wyatt feels like he can die any minute.
Yeah. Well, he don't feel like he can beat Wild Bill.
Ringo.
Johnny Ringo. He don't feel like he can beat him. So he's like, okay, well, if I don't have it, at least you'll have it. So here you go.
And there it is. Wyatt takes one last look at Doc again and leaves. He gets on his horse and they all go watching as...
Well, before that, the owner was like, nobody's going to be coming through. Whoever comes through the house to get the Doc's man coming through us first. Yes, they've probably been there for a while and they are marshals, but would they really put their lives on the line for
if they're lawmen? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, there are certain people in this country that, like, if you're a sheriff, if you're a state trooper, if you're a military man, like, people just fucking love it. Like, they will die for you. If you are a Trump, goddamn, like, they will just suck your dick on sight. It's crazy. Like, they even know the guy. It's weird shit. But yeah, this is kind of like that. Like, if you're a lawman, you're a part of the government, they love you.
That's wild to me because it's like, I'm sorry. Like, yes, I'm housing the stranger and he's sick, but you best believe I ain't fucking dying for the fucker.
Well, that's right. That's a good point right there. But as we see Doc coughing and not blinking, I'm thinking, like, this dude just died. But the Cowboys show up and they tell Wyatt where he's waiting, and Ringo is waiting for him as he said he would be at a certain spot. And Wyatt tells them they better go to Well, who does Wyatt talk to when he tells them they better go to the New Mexico border?
Oh, he's talking to
the
his deputies.
Yeah,
okay.
What's the fucking name? Texas Jack or...
Yeah, the Creek Boys.
The Creek and then
he
Jack.
tells them to go to the New Mexico border.
Yeah.
And one of the cowboys says, I ain't got the words. And Wyatt says, I know. Me either. And then we see Johnny Ringo waiting in the woods where he said he would be. And guess who shows up?
Oh, motherfucking my favorite.
Well, I didn't think,
this is a surprise though.
Johnny Ringo sees somebody and they come walking up. He said, I didn't think you'd show up.
I didn't think you had it in you.
Yeah, I didn't think you had it in you.
He said, I'm your Huckleberry.
Say in his accent.
Yeah, and then that person in the silhouette says, I'll be your Huckleberry. And it's
Huckleberry.
Yeah,
I'm your
Huckleberry. Hold on, guys.
There you go.
Rewind this real quick.
Yes. You gotta get it correct.
Let me say this. To the listeners that's listening to this, if you're looking at the closed caption on this, it's gonna say Huckleberry. It's not Huckleberry. It's Hucklebearer.
No, it's Huckleberry.
It's Hucklebearer.
No, bro, it's Huckleberry. I gotta correct you on this one, man. It's Huckleberry because Instagram is wrong. Don't get all your facts off Instagram.
It's not on Instagram.
It's Huckleberry because of Finn. You know, Finn Huckleberry, the old fucking story, Huck Finn, the goddamn Finn. He was the guy to do everything. He was the guy to be there for you whatever job you needed done. You want a fence painted? Well, you call old Huckleberry. You needed fucking raft built to go down a goddamn river with old Nigga Jim? He'd be your Huckleberry. It meant to be the guy for the job. You need something done? I'll be your Huckleberry. That's what it means.
Okay. So
that's what he got right here.
What I understood, Hucklebearer is the old timey term for a pallbearer.
Yeah.
And whenever you went to bury somebody, you huck them in the hole.
And you bury them.
Yeah, you bury. You Huckleberry. That's Huckleberry. So not only is he saying he's going to kill him, I will huck you in the hole, you son of a bitch. That's what I heard. That's what I understood Huckleberry. Because that's what it meant back in the days.
No, bro. This dude wanted to die.
Oh, man.
And Doc was going to be there for it.
So first, before
he was the man for the job. First you huck him. You bury him. I ain't never heard of no shit like that.
Grizzly.
That's what I found out. Because I always wondered, like, bro, is it Huckleberry or is it Huckleberry? Because I never understood it when it was on VHS, you could hardly understand what the hell they were saying. And that's when I started to look it up, and that's what it popped up. So that's what I thought it meant.
No, man, no.
So before we get to the next thing of this,
we ain't revealed it yet. We ain't revealed the secret, so don't whatever fact you're about to say, don't reveal it.
No, because Wyatt came up and one of the cowboys with the red sashes was telling Wyatt where he needed to go. So where in the hell did they miss this person coming in at?
Somebody knew that they were going to be right where they needed to be. Yeah. So Rango's waiting on them. And that's when this silhouetted figure comes up and says, Ringo? I'll be your Huckleberry. And it's Doc. Doc Holliday. He says, why, Johnny Ringo? You look like somebody just walked over your grave. And Ringo says, the fight's not with you. And Doc says, I beg to differ, sir. We started a game. We never got to finish. We play for blood.
So Ringo wasn't really down with doing a gun.
Not with Doc.
Not with Doc.
No.
And Ringo says, I was just fooling about that, Doc. And Doc says, I wasn't. And this time, it's legal. And Doc shows the badge that he has. And Ringo takes a hard look at him and says, all right, Lunga, let's do it. And they start to circle each other, and they stare at each other intensely. And Doc says, say when. And Ringo's hand starts sliding up towards his pistol, and Doc starts to smile. And while Doc is just tapping his pistol with his one finger, just tapping it. And Ringo reaches for it and Doc shoots him right in the head.
Fast.
And puts it right back in the holster before you even know anything happened.
This is hilarious because he shot him in the forehead.
Right in the head.
And it's terrible blood. Terrible blood.
Oh my God.
They could have done so much better. And he's just like...
He's walking towards him. Yeah, he's having some kind of death spasms. His brain is trying to figure out what the fuck just went through its mind.
No.
And Doc's saying, come on, Johnny.
Normally, if you get shot in the head, you fall out.
And Johnny
You're
does
done.
get his gun and starts shooting. And Doc says, you ain't no Daisy. You know Daisy, and you're a poor soul. You were just too high strung. And he takes the badge and he puts it on Johnny Ringo's chest. And he's about to draw his gun again when another person comes up. But this time it's actually Wyatt. Yeah, and then Doc says, I'm afraid the strain was more than he could bear.
I don't know how Doc was able to get through all the other cowboys, because I'm assuming there's cowboys like stationed.
Well, here's your answer. Doc says, I wasn't quite as sick as I made out to be.
Knew that part.
And that's when Wyatt sees the badge back. And the Doc had laid on Ringo's chest. And he looks up at Doc and says, Doc says, my hypocrisy can only go so far. And Wyatt says, all right, let's finish it. And Doc says,
he says something about
Indizza, the last charge of Wyatt Earp.
And the Immortals.
He said, here goes the last charge. Yeah, last charge or whatever. Yeah.
But that still doesn't answer the question that I had, because you're like, I asked my question and you're like, well, let me get through this and I'll answer your fucking question.
He wasn't as sick as he made out to be.
No,
so
that's not the question. That's not the answer. No, because they got all these cowboys stationed everywhere.
Right on past them.
No, I don't
they
think
ain't
no.
got them stationed every inch of every mile on the damn trail. Like you can ride around.
How many fucking cowboys are there? And Wyatt ended up getting stopped by one.
Left, actually, because they killed a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, like they went on a whole montage of jumping in barbershops and shooting the shit out of them. The guy just having his coffee and he's just getting blasted because he got a red shirt on.
Well,
God
also,
dang.
guy getting fucked
That
and he
man
ended up
was
getting
in.
shot too.
You talking about the guy blowing on that gun like it was a fucking hookah?
No, he's talking about the guy
the one that was getting two women in a bed and he had a sash on the bed and he ended up getting shot.
I bet he wasn't even a cowboy. He was like, I found this sash. I'm a cowboy. Let me get some pussy. And then boom.
He probably paid for that pussy any damn ways.
Let me ask you this. How do you think Quick would have done in the West?
Oh, damn.
Yeah, because that motherfucker could shoot. Quick would have done real good in the West. But anyway, we end up seeing this little more of a montage of Wyatt Earp and his immortals killing the rest of the cowboys. And they end up finding Ike. And while he's running, he takes off his red scarf and just drops it.
This guy still alive?
Saying that he don't want to be a cowboy no more.
He don't want to die.
Because they're all about to fucking kill him. I quit. Doc, and then everybody else shaking hands, and as they ride after him and Wyatt, good friends, man. Good.
I'm sorry. Like, that's the second damn time that Ike didn't fucking die. He pussied over and he got survived. I'm sorry. I would have killed the motherfucker again.
Well, later on at Glenwood Sanatorium in Colorado, we see a preacher praying over Doc in Latin, most likely giving him his last rites. Wyatt looks at the preacher, and the preacher shakes his head. Doc wakes up and says, hello. What me and the father were just investigating the mysteries of Rome. It appears my hypocrisy has no bounds. And Wyatt says, hypocrite, Doc. And I brought you something. He brought him some cards, and he tries to start playing with him like poker. Mm-hmm. But Doc says, I told you, and I meant it. And Wyatt says, how you feeling, Doc? And Doc says, I'm dying. Pretty much the same thing. So we add self-pity to our list. Mm. And Wyatt says, all right, how many cards you want?
I just realized there was a fly on him, and he didn't get disturbed.
And Doc says, I don't want to play anymore. And Wyatt says, how many, Doc? And Doc says, damn you, you're the most valuable, stubborn, self-deluded, bullheaded man I've ever known in my entire life. I call you the only human being in my entire life who ever gave me hope. I was in love once, with my first cousin. She was 15. We were both so... Wyatt says, that's good, Doc.
How the fuck is that good? That's a first fucking cousin. That's not good.
Well, back then it was fine. It's fine.
Because you still fucking the first cousin and you still gonna have an inbred child.
Like I said, back then that's fine because the ignorance, they don't know what's going to happen. And Doc says, Wyatt says, what happened? Doc says, she joined a convent over the affair.
I bet she
was all I ever wanted. What did you want, Wyatt? And Wyatt says, just want to live a normal life. And Doc says, there's no normal life. Why? There's just life. Now get on with it. Wyatt says, I don't know how. And the Doc says, sure you do. Say goodbye to me. Go grab that spirited actress and make her your own.
What happened to Maddie? His wife?
She died of
you don't know this yet. You do not know that yet.
She died of a drug overdose.
Take that beauty and run and don't look back.
Also, what happened to Kate?
She died of a drug overdose.
All right, so listen. This is important. All right, Wyatt is talking to Doc, and Doc is on his dying bed. And he's asking Wyatt what to do. He's asking Doc what to do, and Doc says, say goodbye to me. Go grab that spirited actress and make her your own. Take that beauty and run and don't look back. Live every second. Live right up to the hilt. Live, Wyatt. Live for me. Why, if you ever were my friend, if you ever had the slightest feeling for me, leave now. Please. And Wyatt gets up. He takes a last look at him and he says, thanks for always being there. And Doc nods at him. He nods his head and Wyatt leaves. Doc flips over the paper that Wyatt had given him and it said, My Friend Doc Holliday by Wyatt. And Doc looks down at his feet and says, I'll be damned. This is funny. And he passes on.
How in the hell did he look at his feet and say this is funny?
I don't know. I don't know what the message is there. I didn't really get it, but I'm sure there is a message there that he sees that is funny. You know, like maybe he was.
Was it from the pamphlet that he got, or
it could have been like it's a book because it's a book that he wrote that
Wyatt wrote.
That he won't be able to read it because he's about to die, and he feels like it coming on, and so he's not able to read it before he dies.
So what does it have to do? I'm assuming with looking at his feet, he's like, my feet are getting numb. He's like, damn, this is funny. And then he's like, I feel it coming.
Maybe the shot was wrong. Maybe he was supposed to be looking at the car a little longer and not focusing on his feet. But,
okay. Because I took it as he was looking at his feet and then said that. I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? Also, what happened to Kate? And then what happened to all of his money?
He died. All right.
I'm guaranteeing how Doc was. I'm guaranteed he gave Kate all the money.
Yeah.
Told her to leave.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially when he was about to die.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. But next we see Josephine in this like wintry wonderland here. Maybe wintertime, so time has passed. Or maybe they're just farther north.
Yeah, it can't be Arizona because they don't get snow. Colorado?
Maybe.
Colorado
for sure.
Above, yeah.
But I also had an amazing snowman. Did you see that amazing built snowman? It looked really fake, but it was a badass snowman up front.
But there may be some farther up north, and she's in the mirror looking at herself, looking real pretty. And that's when Wyatt Earps walks in the background. And he says, have you ever seen the sun come up over the rocks? It hits all of a sudden. And below there's California, and you swear you're looking at heaven. And she gets up in disbelief and says, he says, I have nothing left to give you. I have no pride, no dignity, no money. I don't even know how we'll make a living, but I promise you, I'll love you the rest of your life. She smiles and approaches him and kisses him. And she says, don't worry. My family's rich. And they both smile and laugh and they run into the snow. And she says, what shall we do first? And he said, what do you want to do? The first night we met, remember? And she says, and he says, may I have this dance? And she says, yes. And then we'll have room service. So they dance in the snow in front of the building. The narrator says the power of the cowboy gang was broken. Ike Clinton was shot and killed 2 years later during an attempted robbery. Maddie died of a drug overdose shortly after she left Tombstone. Virgil and Allie moved to California, where Virgil, despite the use of only one arm, became a town sheriff. Wyatt and Josephine embarked on a series of adventures up and down, thin or flush. In 47 years, they never left each other's side. Wyatt Earp died in Los Angeles in 1929. Among the pallbearers at his funeral were early Western movie stars like William S. Hart and Tom Mix. Tom Mix. And he wept at his funeral, which I guess was a big thing because Tom Mix was a big star who didn't cry. And the screen fades to black. And then you see one last look at the Wyatt family walking together with old Doc Holliday. And the words go up on Tombstone.
Okay, hold on. You had to get all that out in the last bit. But first off, what the hell happened to Wyatt's money? He was making bank in Tombstone. I
believe he gave it to Maddie.
Okay.
Before he left, and that's probably how she got the overdose.
Okay.
But he didn't want to just leave her with nothing because he was an honest man. So he was like, if I'm going to leave for another woman, you can take all the money.
Well, I didn't take it that he was going to leave her for another woman. I took it that he was going to die while getting his vengeance with all the cowboys. That's why I kind of took it for.
No, I think he left her after that.
Well, she fucking died after that, so she didn't fucking leave him, or he didn't leave her. But it definitely saved the day.
She died.
It literally said that she died right after leaving Tombstone from an overdose.
When she left Tombstone. We don't know when she left Tombstone. We know that Wyatt went after the cowboys
before that
and killed them, but she might have been still there in Tombstone.
No, she was in the train with Virgil and his wife, and I'm assuming Morgan's wife too, because they were all in the same carriage
Fuck
thing.
all that. Read that part that I was telling you about, bro.
And this is the part that Grizzly wants me to tell you about. I'm your Huckle bearer is a phrase from the movie Tombstone that was multiple meanings. Death threat. In a movie, Doc Holliday says, I'll be your hucklebearer, which he doesn't say. But before killing someone, which could be a death threat, a huckle is the handle of a casket. So a hucklebearer is a pallbearer who carries the casket and puts the deceased in their grave. Some say the Holliday's use of the phrase is a reference to the fact that pallbearers used to wear the hucklebearer on springs or a jacket or something. Sarcasm. Others interpret Holliday's use of the phrase as sarcasm, meaning that he doesn't think anyone who wants to fight him would. Historical accuracy. The movie screenplay and filmmakers' historical research indicate that the use of huckleberry was intentional and reflects the vernacular of the time. Val Kilmer, who played the Doc Holliday in the movie, even entitled his memoir after the line to emphasize his significance.
So it could be either way. But in the movie, he said Huckleberry. And
subtitle says Huckleberry, too.
But that's why I was like, I wasn't trying to make a joke about it. I didn't know y'all was going to make fun of me for that shit.
I didn't make fun of you.
But I was just letting you know that.
Panda did.
But yeah, I was just trying to make you know that, hey, it could be Hucklebearer, not Huckleberry. Okay? But, whatever.
Well, and also, did Virgil not learn his lesson? Like, he was a sheriff and he was sheriff twice, or marshal once and then sheriff the second time. And he lost the use of his arm. Did he not learn his lesson to, like, mind his own fucking business? And who in the fuck is gonna hire a man who's got one use of arm
when you got
as
a voice
fucking
like
sheriff?
I'm gonna let you know. If you have the last name Wyatt, back in 1880. Hey, I'm Virgil Wyatt. My brother is
Wyatt
Earp.
Yeah, Earp.
Earp. Sorry, Earp.
But yeah, you're right.
You'd be like, oh shit, you must be as bad as he is.
Yeah,
hired.
Boom. Yeah, but let's.
How the hell does he handcuff a motherfucker? One man. He's got one use of arm.
He never took prisoners.
Hey, could be.
Anyways,
hey, this is good arm.
Let's educate these listeners with a little bit of facts.
Let's go.
Extra, hear all about it.
We got the facts.
All right, I'll go first with the original director, Kevin Jarre, who wrote the screenplay, was initially set to direct the film. However, he was replaced by George P. Cosmatos after falling behind schedule. Grizz?
All right, I got when Earps first entered Tombstone, a grave marker in a cemetery says, "Here lies Lester Moore, 4 slugs from a 44, no less, no more." A real-life tombstone in Tombstone, Arizona. Lester Moore was a agent of Wells Fargo, murdered in Naco, Arizona, in 1880 by Hank Dunstan. Dunstan also died in a fight between the Earp brothers and them, and he's also buried in Naco. Koala?
Okay, so this one's a long one, so bear with me. So Kilmer struggled with a wardrobe as wearing wool in the Arizona summer made it unbearable to film. According to Val Kilmer, screenwriter Kevin Jarre insisted that actors wear real wool costumes in accordance with the time period. In the birdcage theater scene, Kilmer says a thermometer on the set read 134 degrees Fahrenheit. Kilmer suggested jokingly that was the reason Doc Holliday killed so many people. It's just like he wore wool in the summer in the Arizona territory, and that made him mad. Panda?
Yeah.
God damn.
Dang. Kurt Russell's role. Kurt Russell, who played Wyatt Earp, has claimed that he actually directed the movie, with Cosmatos acting as a ghost director. Grizzly?
Oh, nice. Willem Dafoe was the original choice to play Doc Holliday, but Buena Vista refused to distribute the film as he was cast in a controversial movie called The Last Temptation of Christ in 1988.
And it was considered too controversial at the time.
Yeah, it was. But I don't think I see William Dafoe as Doc Holliday in this.
I know. Could you imagine he was like, "I'll be your Spider-Man"?
Get out of here.
Val Kilmer did his homework on the character, practicing his signature quick draw until he had the right pace. Panda?
Historical accuracy. Cosmatos emphasized realism, ensuring that costumes, props, and even facial hair was historically accurate. Grizzly?
Oh, nice. Harry Carey Jr. was 62 when he played Marshal Fred White, but actually, the guy that was actually Fred White back in the day died at 31.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So,
I bet they look the same, too.
Probably did. People back in the day look old as hell. Koala?
Okay, Michael Biehn, who played Johnny Ringo, was friends with Jarre. When his friend was fired and replaced with a director he felt did not understand the screenplay, Biehn reportedly thought about quitting the film. In the end, he stayed on and continued to play Ringo. Panda?
Nice. Realistic facial hair. The actors grew their own facial hair to maintain historical accuracy, which added to the film's authentic look. Grizz?
If it weren't for the railroad back in the day, about 30 years earlier, Wyatt would have had to take the Oregon or Santa Fe Trail, which would have taken a trip of 4 to 6 months to complete. Which more than likely would have killed him and his his party. If you've ever played Oregon Trail,
I always died.
Oh my god! Somebody always died because it was so harsh. Koala.
Val Kilmer asked for his bed to be filled with ice for the scene where Doc Holliday is dying and then eventually dies. He thought it would make his body shake and give him a sense of discomfort and strangeness that would help fuel his performance. Which, on a side note, I did my facts before watching the movie the second time. And in that scene, I was like, let me make sure he's actually shaking. It did not look like he was laying on a bed of ice. Like, he was not shaking or anything. He was stiff, but he wasn't shaking, like, laying on a bed of ice. Panda?
Doc Holliday's Latin. Val Kilmer's character speaks Latin in the film, which was a nod to the real Doc Holliday's education and intelligence. Grizzly?
Wyatt Earp died in 1929. Was never been so much as scratched by a bullet as many gunfights as he's been in. For instance, Virgil, the Marshal of Tombstone, at the time of his famous gunfight, is largely due to Wyatt's self-promotion Before his death, he walked in Hollywood circles, and John Wayne once claimed that he has met him before apparently modeling his famous walk of a wide Earp. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but yeah, he's never been scratched by a bullet in all the gunfights that he's had. That's my last one. Koala?
Okay, I'm going to add on to that. It seems like something out of an action movie. Wyatt Earp walks through a hail of bullets to kill Curly Bill, and yet apparently that wasn't all that exaggerated. Granted, this is based on the world of Johnny Barnes, who temporarily survived that shootout and said that Earp indeed did just what was depicted in the film, bullets and all. Now that could have been exaggerated, but at the very least, it wasn't made up for the movie. Panda?
Gunfight at the OK Corral. The movie's depiction of the famous gunfight is considered one of the most accurate portrayals of the event in film history. Koala?
The line quoted by Doc at the end of the fight at the OK Corral is historically true and was reported in the Tombstone papers reporting the fight. When confronted by one of the cowboys at point blank range, the cowboy reportedly said, "I got you now, Doc, you son of a bitch," to which Doc gleefully retorted, "You're a daisy if you do." Panda?
Kurt Russell's dedication. Russell was so deeply committed to the film, even going as far as to edit the script and work closely with the cast to ensure the film's success. Koala?
Doc Holliday's wink to Bill Clayton just before the OK Corral gunfight was completely improvised by Val Kilmer. Panda?
Box office success. Despite initial production challenges, Tombstone became a box office hit and is now considered a classic Western. Koala?
When Virgil returns to the saloon and collapses after being shot, Kurt Russell accidentally bangs Sam Elliott's head on the bar as he lifts him to lay him flat on the floor. Panda?
Damn. That is it for me. What else you got, Koala?
This is my last one. George Cosmatos claimed that Stephen Lang? Is it Stephen or Stephen Lang? Stephen Lang, which is Ike, was drunk for most of the filming.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right then. Let's move on to our final thoughts. I thought Tombstone was a good one. I say good one because it's after a true story, and I feel like a lot of true stories are very, very disappointing. And this one, because of the true story, you can't make it better because people would be like, it's not what happened. But fuck that. I want a very good ending, man. Like, Doc Holliday was my favorite character. I wish he would have lived. He was awesome, Val Kilmer. But that's the only thing I would make better is if Doc could have lived and, had a life and they went on more adventures as marshals. But it all's come to an end, and now it has to come to an end because it's based off a true story. So I think they did a really good job telling the story. There were some small historical inaccuracies, but this is for entertainment, so you got to remember that. But this was a good one. For sure. I would say go watch it for sure. It's worth seeing. I wouldn't miss this if this was on TV. This has got to be in the top 100 best movies of all time. Kurt Russell was awesome. Bill Paxton as Morgan was awesome. Michael Rooker, I didn't expect him to be in the movie, but he was in there. From The Walking Dead, he was Daryl's brother.
Oh, yeah.
It was awesome, man. Val Kilmer was just amazing. Like I said, my favorite character. And I would say that, this was a good interpretation of what happened, what really happened at the OK Corral. This is the Old West of America. It was awesome. So, yeah, I would say it's a good one. Grizzly? If the marshal of your town was shot dead by a drunk man and they said, Grizz, you got to do something, would you say that you're their Huckleberry? Or would you say that the Tombstone was a good one?
I would say if I was another lawman from a different town and I couldn't take that shit no more, and my freaking wife is getting shot at or whatever, I think I'd go with it, man. As long as I have my buddies with me. But me being a Grizzly back in the day, I don't think that will work out good. So We'll see. No, but I say this is a great one. Growing up,
great one.
My mom would say that this was the best one because she's seen, like, the reason why I see this as a great one is because every time I would walk in the living room, she would have this playing, and I would just sit there and I'd be like, cool. I like this movie. I'm going to just sit there and watch it. And I watched this movie 20, 30, 40, 50 times. Because she would just switch between this and A Few Dollars More or A Fistful of Dollars from Clint Eastwood. But I love the story in this one, especially, like, who doesn't love Doc Holliday? Like, if I can get that pop, I want it, dude.
I had it,
dude.
I had it. Now that I've seen this movie, I was like, God dang, I sold it.
Oh my God,
I want it now.
Yeah,
I want him and Wyatt, and that's it.
I wouldn't mind Virgil. I was highly impressed with Virgil.
I would take all of them.
Morgan was just like he died, but like,
But still, like I see, like, this is the Western movies that tops all Western movies. I believe. Like, I don't think that Clint Eastwood did any better. I don't think that John Wayne did any better. I think Kurt Russell did a great job on Wyatt Earp. I think that Val Kilmer did a great job as Doc Holliday. Like, because he's funny, he's charismatic, and they say that that's how he was whenever he lived. And I loved it back in the day in the 1880s. It would have been great to go back there and just, talk to him just to hear what the hell they got to say, But yeah, I say it's a great one. And I hope they do something with like the early days of Doc Holliday. I would like to see a movie of that, something like that.
Well, thank you, Grizz. Koala, if a marshal had killed your brother because your brother had killed one of his brothers, would you say, brother? Or would you say that Tombstone was a good one?
That's what I was going to say. If you didn't say that, I was going to say
So first off, where the hell is that coming from? Brother thing.
That's Hulk Hogan, brother.
Oh, no.
Let me tell you something, dude.
brother.
Completely went over my head. So first of all, I want to say that I'm not a Western person whatsoever. Like, I grew up watching Western, like John Wayne's at my grandparents' house every once in a while. But I'm like, this shit's boring as hell. Like, it was not my vibe. So with just that, within saying that, I was going back and forth and thinking that it's an okay or a good movie. But the fact that I was surprised that I actually liked this movie, and with it being a Western movie, I'm going to stick with the saying it's a good movie. I think the actors did a pretty great job in their roles. Very impressive mustaches, and the fact that they're real, I was very impressed with that. I do think it was a little bit long. I feel like they could have removed 15-20 minutes worth of like whatever, and it still would have been a good movie. Because after watching this the second time within a week, I'm like, it's like almost 2 hours long. Like,
I know they could have gotten rid of the horses. Whenever they went to the picnic thing, they could have got rid of that whole thing. I think that was useless.
Something like they could have done something.
Yeah, I see it.
I do think that the romance portion of the movie, they needed to do a little bit better. Like, I think I truly do believe in the love at first sight, but it seemed like they only had an attraction with their looks, and I didn't really like how Wyatt wanted to move to Tombstone to make money and retire there. But then when he talked to Josephine, it like his entire dreams wanted to be changed, and he wanted room service and travel. I do get with Wyatt and Maddie, they were just done with each other. Like, they do need help with like communication and something, but it could have been done a little bit better. But that's just me being a woman, like wanting a little bit better. I didn't really like how it wasn't explained to the end of the movie that she died, that she did pass away. But after Wyatt got done with the revenge, he went straight to Josephine. Like, that would have been the time to be, because like the whole entire time at that scene, I was like, damn, this motherfucker went straight to Josephine instead of like going to his wife. But his wife was already fucking dead. So I'm like, they could have did a little better with that. I think the storyline and the action was pretty good. I know this was not a comedy, but I for sure was laughing my ass off and counting how many times Wyatt was bitch slapping somebody. I think it is definitely worth a watch and overall a good movie.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, all right, guys. You know it's time for a movie 20 questions. And we're going to do a little switch up here. We're going to make it a little different so that everybody gets to play along.
Nice.
This week's submission comes from actually Koala Sam. She's going to she's going to bring this movie 20 questions for us, and we're going to rotate it between the months and see, which team can do be a little more successful at guessing this movie 20 questions. So Sam, take it away.
So I will say this submission came from Dev from Smyrna.
Wow, Dev from Smyrna. Dev some Smyrna. All right, you ready, Grizz?
Yep.
All right, what do you want to do? You want to do 2000 to 2010? I think she's pretty young, so let's do that. Is this movie from 2000 to 2010?
No.
Oh!
Is this movie from 2010 to 2020?
No.
Ooh, earlier. Okay. Is this movie from 1990 to 2000?
No.
Oh, even earlier.
Wait, I can't
Is it earlier?
say anything.
Could be.
Is this movie from 2020 to 2024?
Yes.
Come out yesterday. Does this movie have superheroes in it?
No.
I was thinking Deadpool.
Is Devin?
That's 5.
Is Devin?
Mm-hmm.
About Taraji P. Henson. All black girls love Taraji P. Henson.
That's true. Okay.
That was 5, by the way.
All right. Did this movie come out 2020 to 2022?
No.
So it's got to be 23 or 24.
We've probably seen this movie in theaters.
Probably. Okay. No superheroes.
Does this movie... Who was that movie we seen with her?
What a Man Wants?
This was with her boyfriend.
Taraji P. Henson?
No. This was, what movie did we see with her? Was it Twister?
Twister? No way Taraji P. Henson was in it.
No. Get rid of Taraji P. Henson.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said...
This is a movie that me and you seen with her and her boyfriend, but they was in the back because they got their tickets last. What was that movie? It was this past year.
Oh, I don't know. I do remember seeing him in theaters, and I gave him that nasty-ass ranch popcorn. That was nasty.
That was it, though.
She didn't want to take it. But yeah, I don't remember that. I don't remember what movie it was. And you know how many movies I see, bro? Every week. That Alien Romulus was pretty good, though, for you guys listening. I thought it was good. Xavier thought it was shit. I
didn't say it was shit. I said it was good up until a certain point. And then I didn't like the movie.
My thing is that even in I didn't watch it, but in the trailer, it looked like the alien had a fucking dick and shoving it down her face. Like shoving it in her mouth, like,
It looked like that, too.
Yep.
Was it, that imaginary movie?
I don't think so. I didn't see that in theaters.
You did. With
I saw it on Peacock.
No.
Ryan Reynolds?
No. The other one.
There's another imaginary movie?
Yeah, with the old lady. Was that it?
The old lady?
Yeah, it was the old lady that was trying to find So it was the woman that could see the bear, but everybody else couldn't see the bear.
Oh, that was imaginary, wasn't it? What they call it?
Yeah, I think it's called imaginary.
That was a horror movie.
Yeah. Is this a horror, action, or comedy movie?
Yes. That's 7.
One of those three.
One of those 3. Okay.
That's only 7, so let's just try to narrow the year down.
Okay.
We did, 2022.
So I think it's 2024.
You said...
Is this movie 2024?
Yes.
Okay.
8.
What
was it? No, it probably wouldn't be a movie that we've already reviewed.
No, that's too recent. Okay.
Does this movie have a black actress as the main person?
Actress as female?
Yes.
So I don't know if technically this is a main actress, but I'm going to say yes.
Okay. Let's try to narrow it down. Does this movie have DeWanda Wise in it?
No.
That's out.
That's 10.
Is this movie a horror movie?
Yes. It's 11.
Yeah, I guess so.
Does this movie have Dakota Fanning in it?
No. That's 12.
What's that guy?
He wasn't in there.
Yeah, he wasn't. What's that other guy from,
Okay.
Sabretooth?
How about we do this? Does this movie have something to do with vampires?
I was thinking about blackening.
No.
Not blackening.
No. That's 13.
Dang, no vampires. No, that other girl.
You think about Annabelle, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
What about that tarot movie?
Well, that eliminates... If it was made in 2024, we eliminate imaginary... We eliminate Abigail. We eliminate the Watchers. Because it doesn't have Dakota Fanning, doesn't have... vampires, so no Abigail. It doesn't have DeWanda Wise, so no imaginary. And it's a horror movie.
And there's a black person in here somewhere.
How you know?
Because I asked. She said...
Black
she
actress.
don't know. She said possibly yes. But she don't know if it's a star.
You said main actress. So I was like, I don't know if she's a main actress, but there is a black actress on the cast.
Is there multiple black people? Because if it's the blackening, bro, come on.
But those are main actresses.
How about this? Does the movie have something to do with possession?
The summary does not state anything about possession. That's 14.
I swear to God, if this is the exorcism, I'm going to slap her in the mouth.
Well, obviously, for Exorcist, I've seen that, and that is possession.
So there is no exorcism with Russell Crowe. That's out. The Watchers is out.
Imaginary's out.
Immaculate is out.
That was 14, by the way.
Is tarot out?
I don't know. I haven't seen that one. I don't know if it's about possession or just about reading goddamn cards.
What do you say, superstition, or you want to see if it has...
What about if undead? We go with undead. That includes zombies, vampires.
Vampires is already a no.
Yeah, we already got no on vampires, but we ain't got zombies yet. And there's this. 2024.
Is that horror, though? I thought that was drama or comedy or some shit.
I don't want to limit it.
I said, let's look at actors.
Okay. I can see that. Okay, I can see that. I say we throw like 5 of them at them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me write it down.
All right, write it down. Does this movie have Mia Goth?
Mia Goth?
Russell Crowe?
Russell Crowe?
Catherine Newton?
Catherine Newton?
Catherine Newt?
See, I went with Immaculate, but it looks like it has possession, so I didn't go with that one. So I went with, where did Dakota Fanning? Don't have her in there. I went with Russell Crowe. He's in The Exorcism. I went with Mia Goth. She's in Maxine, which was a popular one for this year. And then I went with Frankenstein, Catherine Newton.
Are you sticking with those 3? Or are you adding a couple
one more? Come on, Zay. Whatever you got. Whatever you got, Grizz.
Whatever I got. Okay, I got motherfucking Brianna Middleton.
No. That was 15.
What was that one? Oh, they say you don't have vampires in there.
No vampires. No vampires, Zay.
No vampires.
You know, one that... Yeah, that's what I thought it was. The one where the black girl goes to the party with the vampires and they were trying to sacrifice her.
Oh, The Invitation.
Yeah.
That was a good one. I like that one.
But no vampires.
Yeah, and it's 2024, too. That came out like 2022.
Oh, shit.
That was 15 questions, by the way.
We got 15.
5 left.
Dude,
Brian kind of fucked you over.
What type of woman she is for watching fucking random horror movies that we don't fucking know about.
I didn't know she was into horror movies. I mean, the only other guess that's like mainstream, because I don't feel like she's like a movie watcher. But though another one that was been like advertised is that one. We can start narrowing it down to that one.
Okay.
So we're back to actress.
I mean, we can go with The Creature.
Yeah.
Does this movie have aliens in it?
Aliens. No.
So nothing otherworldly.
That was 16 questions.
That's 16, bro.
Okay. So that's not yours or mine, right?
Whoa, no. Well, mine's still on Earth.
Okay. I got you.
Mine is still on Earth. But how do we ask about this one? Bro, I bet it ain't this. This better be something that's fucking regular. Like I told you, no red box fucking Netflix originals type shit.
This is not next box. Red box.
Next box. Okay.
Go for it, bro.
So we're at 16.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to name off some movies here. Say, Grizzly, listen to this.
All right.
The Mousetrap, Watchers, The Beast Within, Immaculate, Sting, Handling the Undead, Abigail, Night Swim, The Exorcism, The Strangers, Arcadian, Imaginary, Tarot, The Inheritance, The First Omen, In a Violent Nature, Winnie the Pooh 2, Blood and Honey, I Saw the TV Glow, Places of Bones, Jack in the Box Rises, The Devil's Bath. Have we mentioned this movie?
Wait, can you ask that fucking question?
I just asked, have I mentioned this movie?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, it's one of those movies I mentioned, you son of a bee. And we know it don't have Dakota
17.
Fanning. We know it don't have aliens. Okay, so we're stuck to this right here.
You don't have vampires. It
No
don't
vampires.
have otherworldly.
No otherworldly, no aliens. No possessions.
No
Yes,
possession.
there's possessions.
Is it
Oh, no.
I say if it's
There's no that. No Russell
how do you
Crowe.
ask if it's about religion?
Well, we already asked if it was about possession, so there's no possession, no demons, no nothing like that. Demons possess, so no demons. So those two are out.
Okay, so
No, I went right there. Maybe that.
that's why I said it's spiritual cards or the other one that you said. Is there a black person in that one? There's a black person in one of these movies, bro.
Is that what you said?
That's what I said. I said, is the main character a grizzly? And she said, I don't know how this person...
I said
plays this
specifically,
thing.
I don't know if she is a main actress or if it's a background character.
So I think that should be a question back to us if she doesn't know. Okay? So I think that should be a question back.
Okay, so just remove that question in general then. So you're back to 17 questions.
We're back to 17. We get one more question, okay?
So remove that off because I've never seen this. So I don't know if she's a main actress or
But that means
a background.
there could be a black person in here. If there's a black person in here, then consider it.
But does it show all the characters?
So we say spiritual or...
No, spiritual's out of here, bro. No possessions.
Okay. But do they... Bro, I don't know. With the Alien movie that I just seen, I don't fucking know what to ask no more.
The Alien movie is good.
Yeah. All right, so I say ask about that one. Black person.
Is that all you're seeing?
That's all I see. That's all I'm trying to go after right now is that black person check.
But we've already canceled that question out.
But hey, you
So
said that you
remove
don't
it.
know. You said that you don't know, so that's what I'm looking for. You said apparently there's a black person in here, but you don't know if they're a lead.
Okay. Let me
So all I know is
go
that there's
back
one
to
in there.
that actress because she looks black. Let me
It's a
look
female.
further. Well, actress is a female. What?
None.
Can y'all see, like, with my glasses, you motherfuckers?
God damn it, man.
Go ahead and take this off, you cheating motherfuckers. Quit trying to look at the damn laptop or the computer behind me. Okay, so the whole black part, remove that completely because she looks black, but she's actually South Asian.
Wow. She fucked you up, say she lied to you.
Damn.
Once
So we should get another question back because she
No,
ain't even black.
no,
She ain't
because
even
we
black.
already canceled that. So you're back to still 17. No, but once you guys complete this, I'll show you the picture of her because she looks mixed. I think y'all way too fucking drunk to be doing this.
Nah, bro, we got it.
Fuck you.
Yeah, we got it narrowed down. We got it narrowed down.
Yeah, 17 questions.
There's 17 there.
You got 3 more.
There ain't no black people in the movie.
You just asked about actresses. Y'all didn't ask about nothing about actors. Black actors.
All right, what do you think, Zay?
Y'all sure not communicate with one another.
What do you think about monster horror? Is the movie a monster horror, sci-fi, or thriller?
Monster horror.
So is that your question, monster horror?
Is this a monster horror and sci-fi movie?
Define monster. I mean, the thing doesn't say monster horror.
Emotion.
This is monster horror. And this is a movie that already came out.
Come out in 2024.
Yeah.
Horror movie in 2024. What about, does this movie have to do with cards? Like, that'll eliminate that one.
Yeah.
Does this movie have anything to do with cards?
Yes.
That's why it goes spiritual, right?
I mean, if it's Deadpool. I'm sorry. I don't know. Okay, let's narrow it down then.
Okay.
Does this movie have Jacob Batalon in it?
Jacob Batalon in it?
That's the dude from Spider-Man?
Yes. Yes.
I think this is it. I mean, he wasn't in anything else besides Spider-Man. We got plenty of questions left, so let's just narrow it down a little more.
You got 2 questions left.
We got 2 questions left, so we can narrow it down. Let's just narrow it down a little more.
Okay.
Does this have anything to do with tarot readings?
Yes. That's 19. Good Lord.
Yeah, that was my titty. That was my nipple.
You got 1 question left and 1 guess.
Should we ask one more question just to be sure? You know, so we don't fuck it up? I'm just saying. Does this movie have Ivanka Vandapo in it? She ain't been in shit else.
Vantica? Yes.
Yeah!
Okay, so look at this. Okay, no. Hold on.
All right.
Go from that, and then we'll go
Let's
from
take
there.
our guess, Zay.
Tarot.
Guess it.
Tarot.
Is this movie tarot?
Tarot.
Yes.
Yeah!
Okay.
Oh,
Vantica. She looks half black, don't she?
no, she looks Indian.
No, she does not.
That's racist.
To me, she looks mixed.
No, she does not. Wow.
It says she's South Asian.
You have not looked at many people lately, huh? Anyway.
She still looks mixed.
We got it, Grizz. We got it.
Y'all literally fucking said it like 5 times.
Yep.
Wow. Have we mentioned this? That's a good question to use, okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, supernatural horror, would you consider that monster horror?
No.
Okay, then that question that you asked was a no. Because I was like, supernatural, that could be monsters, but when I was reading the synopsis, it wasn't.
It'll say it under the genres. Thank you, Koala, for taking that over this month. That was pretty awesome.
Probably
Me
like-
and Grizz are undefeated. Appreciate that.
No, we're literally on the last damn question, too.
All right, guys, be on the lookout for next month's entry, which is Bruce Willis's The Sixth Sense. The
I've never seen it before.
Sense.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be an exciting move for next month. So be on the lookout for that, guys. And that'll be it for us at We Real Reels. Koala.
Bye.
Grizzly.
What?
I would say you poured him a little too many shots.
Grizz.
And hell's coming with me.
All right, guys. Keep on reeling.